Simpsons Index, an online spreadsheet that is also a podcast. This is the podcast. Hello, listeners. Welcome to episode 60 of the Simpsons Index. For this milestone episode, I am mildly stoned, your host, Elliot J. O'Neill. And joining me in the studio this afternoon...
Yes, it is afternoon.
And joining me in the studio this afternoon is BT.
You can't prove that.
And Phil.
Also here. Hello.
Present. Yes, thank you guys for joining me for the 60th ever index.
Feels good. Feels good.
60 is a big number.
Didn't think being 60 would feel this good, but it does.
Yeah, well, I mean, 60 is the new 40, so...
40 is the new 20, and 20 is the new 10, and 10's the new unborn.
That's right.
The new unborn.
That sounds pretty cool, not going to lie.
Like a good prog rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
We are the new unborn.
And here's our number one single, Get Death.
And today it's a bit of a special because we're diving right into The Simpsons' 29th season, which only just started about a fortnight ago. And
For our international listeners, a fortnight is 2 weeks.
yes,
It means 14 nights.
or as we call it in Australia, a 40. Not to be confused with the number 40, which we call Forto.
Or the age 40, which is technically now 20.
Yes.
Nothing is anything anymore.
And yeah, starting out the 29th season, we started with episode 2, Springfield Splendor. It was written by Tim Long and Miranda Thompson.
Got away with it this time, Tim.
First released last week in October of 2017. In this episode, Marge and Lisa collaborate making a graphic novel together, but tensions arise when Lisa starts getting a lot of praise for the work and Marge sort of gets left behind. But then some eccentric theatre producer comes along and develops it, and then it's Marge who's getting all the praise. Guys, what did you think?
Not bad.
Yeah, I thought it was not terrible compared to other, especially because it was a Marge Lisa episode.
Yeah.
And a recent, made me laugh when you said first aired last week.
Yeah.
So much of the new stuff, I was like, yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah, I was just delightfully surprised with this episode. It's interesting because I don't think we've seen Marge and Lisa paired up like this.
No, I mean, in all 7,000 episodes, I think Marge Lisa was probably the rarest pairing.
Yeah, and it was unique to see them in this fashion. I thought, it was a bit of a winner. So let's get right into the questionnaire. So, Phil, we've adjusted the questionnaire slightly in the recent weeks.
Oh, shit.
So we start out with, for better or worse, what jokes from this episode stood out to you?
There was quite a few good laughs in this one, actually.
Yeah?
I did really love at the very beginning when they go to community college, there was a bit where they're walking past the classrooms and you're hearing snippets from everyone's teaching of classes, and they walk past storytelling with Dan Harmon.
Yeah.
And he just yells out, I tell you, a story is a circle.
And then they all shoot him with
They
paintballs.
shoot with paintballs. I was like, that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
And there is a visual joke there where his story circle, it says 1, basic cable, 2, fired, 3, network TV, 4, fired, 5, rehired, 6, cancelled, 7, Yahoo'd, 8, teaching.
Actually, that's very accurate.
There was a really good
And yeah, Dan Harmon is himself, by the way.
Yeah, there's a really good sign gag when Lisa's in the therapist's office and there's a book that says, Did I Die or Not? By Dr. Marvin Monroe.
Yeah, that's right. There's always been a question mark over his head.
So, the sign writers on this one, on point.
Yeah, BT, what jokes, for better or worse, stood out to you?
Oh, yeah, there's a great one where they're being introduced at the comic panel by a woman who's what writes for the New Yorker or something. I missed it, but she says, "My comics are both funny, ha-ha, and funny, aha."
Yeah.
I really like that turn.
That was Roz Chast. Yeah, there were a few people playing themselves in that scene. They had Marjane Satrapi.
Good old Margie Satrapi.
Yep.
I'm sorry, we're not trying to be rude by mispronouncing your name.
We
We're
just
not
don't know how to
familiar.
do it.
But they also had Alison Bechdel, famous for the Bechdel test, and I actually liked the joke that they had here where she sort of explains what the Bechdel test is, and then Marge goes, "Oh, that's so interesting, I'll have to tell my husband."
Like, boo.
Yeah, and then there's just immediate, she just pushes a red button, it's just Bechdel test fail.
Yeah. I didn't mind that. I could have done without the extended.
It went on a bit too much. I mean, this is my big problem with this episode. I think it is very blunt and very telling you you don't get it because the end of that scene. It literally, they have the Bechdel test music go again, and it's like, Lisa win, Marge fail. Did you get this scene yet?
Yeah, it became very Mortal Kombat. I did like when they introduced Alison Bechdel, inventor of the Bechdel test. Alison, what kind of drinking game is that? Yeah. I was like, that's pretty cool.
So, Beej, for the better or worse, what story points stood out to you about this episode?
Well, I definitely went through, the fact that it's just blunt and it beats you over the head with what's going on. Because, again, when it gets adapted into a stage play, Lisa literally goes, but Mom, they're just taking away my parts and leaving in everything about you.
Yeah.
And it's just, that's really something that bugs me because it's already. Also, Marge is kind of petty when Lisa starts getting the attention. So that's kind of the negative point there. I do really like most of the story, though, how it flows and how they start making the comic, and that all makes sense, and it gets on the point really quickly. It does have a little bit of a problem of Lisa's anxiety about school is not gone or not resolved.
No.
By the end of it. But outside of that, I'd say everything else is pretty good. I do like when we switch into the comic books animation. Sorry, the graphic novels animation. They all look really good. And
visually, all those animations of the Sad Girl comic to me just look beautiful. And it was a way for Marge to have her own distinctive drawing style that existed outside of The Simpsons while still looking like The Simpsons.
Yeah, it did really fit in nicely. You could tell what everything was immediately, but it had a different flavour to it. It was actually quite good. I thought the art was really nice on it.
Yeah, what story moment stood out to you?
I think I agree with BT with where it flipped a little bit. I was on board 100% of the way through. The way that the story started was organic, and it dipped into Marge's known history of being an artist and being good at drawing and stuff. So that really worked out. The collaboration worked really well. It was really cool when they got a little bit better and people recognized them and they started getting, pseudo meme famous, I guess.
Yeah, I don't think I like how they got there with Kamiko. And for those that actually weren't aware, and we haven't covered this episode yet, at some point comic book guy gets married to this.
That freaked the shit out of me.
Yeah.
he's married to an attractive Japanese thin woman.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Who then gets dressed in a panda suit and says there's no way that this is sexy. And he's like, yes, there is. This is not what I want to see.
No, that was weird because, they were going for a harakiri joke. And then at that point, it's like, I don't know if this is racist, but I'm not amused by it.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best way. If you're like, is this racist? I don't know, but I'm not finding fun anyway. Yeah. So even if it is, it's not worth it.
So, I wasn't a fan personally, but, I mean, it got them. It was a means to an end, and I think, you know what, I can forgive it.
Yeah, and it was brief enough that it didn't really matter. So
yeah, I think that's what it was. They didn't spend a lot of time on it. It was basically, here it is, we'll stop it. No, wait, look, we're famous. Okay, and we're out.
Yeah.
I did kind of feel that the story dropped a bit when it turned into the Broadway musical.
Definitely.
Because it just became odd, I think. They kind of, there was no reason they really needed to shift it from Lisa's getting all the attention because she's the sad girl and Marge is not because she's literally the illustrator, which is really a point from Clerks or Mallrats where they have that.
Oh, the Inca?
Yeah, no, just
Chasing
Amy. Yeah. And it's like, just having issues with being a tracer. It's like, it's kind of really struck that chord with me. I was like, oh, that's cool. But then to try and flip it on its head where the artist or the guy putting on the stage play really loves Marge's art, but not the story. I didn't see why it needed to flip that storyline. They could have just escalated more.
And Guthrie Fennell, played by Martin Short as well. Look, I get what they were going for with the, over-the-top character, but, man, it just borders on annoying sometimes, especially, when he does all that, yelling. It's like, I don't get it. Why do the Simpsons just think if you yell something, it becomes funny?
Doesn't it?
Okay, that was pretty good.
But no.
I'm in stitches.
It's really a case of like Pee Wee Herman-ism where you become annoying and loud and unpredictable, and then that becomes a character and a funny character somehow.
Yeah, and this is the big problem I have with the story is in the Broadway play bit. He's meant to be doing this eccentric, avant-garde, nonsensical version of Sad Girl, but it's so littered with Simpsons references that it takes you out of that moment. It's got Homer drinking at the bar, reading that Sale magazine, which is reference from before, and then the baby mobile made out of Milhouse and his Lhasa Apso. I feel like those sort of things took me as the audience out of thinking, oh, this is an avant-garde thing and it doesn't make sense. Because it makes sense to me as a Simpsons watcher, all these references.
Yeah, it turned into a Simpsons pinata.
Yeah. And so, I think they undercut their own premise because of that, but which is a shame because building up to this moment, the episode, I thought, did a really good job of doing something different and interesting with Marge and Lisa.
Yeah, and once we hit the stage production thing, it feels like it abandons everything it's built so far by turning this, Lisa's getting attention, but Marge is feeling left out, and then just flips that, and we don't get anything more story-wise from it, or emotionally from it. It's just, okay, now everything's the opposite of what we first said.
Yeah, it feels like one of their special guests was a graphic designer, and who's really good at coming up with out-of-the-box thinking ideas about how to do things. And they've gone, we've got this guy, we can use him for half this episode, let's make that happen. And it looked really cool, and there was a lot of stuff that was like when Marge was just literally her hair running around with legs. That's all right. And the giant Homer robot looked cool, but it wasn't a representation of what it was supposed to be about at all.
No, it was just Simpsons references, really.
Yeah.
Although I did like how Sad Girl was represented by a single red light pointing at an empty seat.
But how will they know it's me? Storytelling.
Yeah. There were some good moments, like when he's on the table magic carpet and storytelling banner behind him.
Yeah, they were okay, but they were all just like, they weren't funny because of the story. They were just one-off little sight gags. They were, again, he was just Pee Wee Hermaning around.
How absurd.
Yeah. Although it did lead to the good moment, I thought, where Marge is like, oh, okay, this has probably gone on long enough, and she ends up drawing Lisa on the spotlight. I thought that was really cute.
Yeah, that was all right.
Yeah. All right, next question. Play count. Have you seen this episode before today? If so, how many times?
Never and none.
Once.
Yeah.
From last week.
Yeah, we watched it last week because it just came out, and
this is what we do. We Simpsons.
No, and I was so keen to just get this into the podcast. Like, today we're meant to be doing the Mo Dates a Little Person episode, but I'm like...
What?
I'll save that for you.
God damn it.
It's actually not a bad episode.
Of course.
Did this feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
Yeah, no one feels off point. Like I said, Marge is a bit petty when she's jealous of Lisa, but I don't think that ruins it because it's not a massive point.
Yeah, it's a little out of character, but it feels like in context of the story.
Yeah.
But I just don't buy that she wouldn't just be happy that Lisa is happy,
Yeah, I'd be happy that it's the thing that she's done and people are enjoying her art and looking at it. But yeah, apart from that, I think it was pretty close. I think it did miss having a bit of a B story. Might have kind of taken the pressure off the main A story, and there was an allusion to it with Bart and Homer.
There was some
only
gags
kind of
them.
like a really we'll stage a gag so you can laugh at Bart and Homer getting hit by fishing poles and then
no, that was it. It was just this weird isolated scene where it had that whistling music. I'm not confident in my whistling ability to
Andy Griffith movie.
Oh, is that what it is? I'm actually surprised that they haven't used it in 29 years.
They must have, surely.
Yeah, I'm sure that's there somewhere.
Man,
no,
I've
it's
seen those episodes a lot.
Pretty sure it's in an episode where now I'm off to Emmett's Fix-It Shop to fix Emmett. I can't remember what episode it is.
Mo Gets a New Face?
Maybe no. It's someone's watching the show, but they've replaced the actor with a more violent actor.
Oh,
I can't remember.
Write us in, listeners. But
does anyone write you in when you say that?
Sometimes,
yeah.
At our Twitter, @SimpsonsIndex, or Facebook.com/The Simpsons Index.
Oh, great segue.
But yeah, so besides that one random isolated scene, there was also the weird bit with Bart being treated like a dog by Homer.
Yeah.
I don't think there was that great a material mind from that.
No, it did make me laugh when he just goes, I can't wait to take you to the park, and all the other owners will be so jealous. And he's like, I don't think you're my owner. And and Homer just says, aren't I?
Yeah, pretty much am, yeah.
I was like, it was okay, but it wasn't really...
But yeah, and in that other random isolated scene was with the rods, the other two people. Hey, you stole our fishing rods and my skipping stones.
Yeah, kind of funny, but I wouldn't call it a story.
Yeah.
No. It's a little aside.
Yeah, and there was another funny background thing during Marge and Lisa's working on the Sad Girl montage where Homer and Maggie pick up home delivery pizza. Yeah. And then fade a few hours later, they're picking up AM waffles.
Yeah, I actually like that as a representation of time passing.
Yeah, totally.
So it is from Simpsons Califragilistic Annoyed Grunt Ocious, Season 8, Episode 13.
The Sherry Bobbins episode.
Yeah, must be.
Really? Yeah. There you go.
Even we learn things.
Oh, yeah, and Charles Brosnan.
It's Charles Bronson.
Yeah, now I'm after Emmett's fix it up to fix Emmett.
Wow. How does that skip my mind?
Point is, they play the music when he's walking out of the room. Long way around.
We got there. And how about the wackiness of this episode?
Not too wacky. I suppose the theatre does catch fire. There is a very quick joke I do like when the stage is all falling apart. Something rolls down and falls into the orchestra pit, whatever that's called. And it does that thing of theatres with having streamers shoot up to show fire, and then it catches fire.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
It was very quick. I didn't even notice it the first time we saw it. Yeah. It was a good little reference.
Yeah, it was like the tractor. I think it's when the tractor crashes into the orchestra pit and they have the faux fire. So it was obviously that was part of the plan, but then it actually catches fire and explodes.
Yeah.
No, it looked really good, and even like the Ralph stage. Ralph landing on Ralph. Which one am I? That wasn't bad.
Which one of us is me?
Yeah, I always love a bit of Ralph.
Yeah. Especially when it's quick like that. You don't have to dwell on it because there have been some bad Ralph moments.
Yeah. No, as far as wacky moments, the whole Bechdel test fail, that was a bit wacky. But the whole theatre thing, I think because it's in the context of it needing to be wacky, I think you forgive it. But I really didn't like that first scene with Guthrie at the Simpsons house.
Yeah, that seemed like really old writing where it's just like, we'll get him to do something weird to show how wacky and strange he is. And he's like trying to wear the curtain as a hat and then using candlesticks as earrings and then just running around the background like Daffy Duck or something.
Yeah, no, he was. It was totally one short of being Daffy Duck.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't have much more to say about the wackiness of this episode. There wasn't a lot of...
It's not really in the story. There are only a couple of jokes that are sort of wacky. So for the most part, it's not really pleasant. It's a low whack.
Yeah. Although Sideshow Mel, he's always a good, what would you call it?
Like a throw-to character.
A throw-to for wacky,
Yeah.
How they're in the supermarket and Marge is like, we've become part of that thing. What is it?
Zeitgeist.
Yeah, that was weird. I didn't like it.
No, neither did I. But I did like his line at the theatre, I'm haunted by visions of Millhouse.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
He's Millhouse. It made up for that line that preceded it, which was, let's run for our cultural lives.
Oh,
that was a bit much.
That seemed like 15 years ago Simpsons.
Yeah.
Like we're making a joke about something. Here's all the explanation.
Take that, hipsters.
Yeah.
Show you for seeing avant-garde theatre. How about the heart of this episode?
It is sweet that Marge helps Lisa out with her, art therapy problems and it's...
Yeah, and there's just simple little moments like when Marge was showing Lisa how to draw and she's like holding her hand and doing it. Yeah, real cute parent-kid moment there.
But that just kind of then bugs me that wasn't more carried through, that we get this whole little jealousy spat and that we... And when she does draw Lisa on the spotlight so she can be part of the stage play again, that's nice. But,
it wasn't really earned, though, I felt. It was
no.
I don't know, it seemed like they just went, this is a great story, it'll work out, and then somebody said, but where's the conflict? You know, you can't have a story without good conflict. And then they're like, okay, well, maybe Marge gets jealous of her and Lisa's fame on a thing that they did for art therapy to help Lisa not feel anxiety.
Yeah, which is a shame because it had totally been building up to the heart, but it didn't really pay it off in the conflict or so much in the resolution.
Yeah.
Like, it did get paid off in a satisfying way enough that I'm probably not going to give this episode a negative ranking, but it'd be a good argument for me to do that. So, yes or no, would you watch this episode again?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No,
I don't feel like I'm gonna. I don't feel like I'm not gonna get anything else out of it. I suppose would be my reason not to. But if it's on, and I'm hungover like I am now,
if you have the bare minimum of resistance,
that's the hangover test. That's what we use.
Yeah, for me, this passes the hangover test. What about you, Phil?
Yeah, maybe. I don't think I got much out of it, and it wasn't funny enough to watch again. And I probably forget the entire episode by tomorrow.
Yep, fair enough.
But it's on and the remote's out of batteries and you just want to lie down.
Then why am I not asleep?
Because you can't sleep.
Incorrect. I can always sleep.
Well, in the chance that you might watch it again, what playlist does this episode belong in? Marge Lisa stories, for very few there are of those.
Therapy.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely like a Marge art kind of playlist.
Definitely.
Theater.
The Simpsons at the theater. And part of the Zeitgeist.
Collective zeitgeist.
Yeah. Okay, just riffing on that. That's how it made it into the episode, because that's just way too fun to do.
Also, zeitgeist is fun to say.
Yeah, especially in Sideshow Mel voice.
You got a zeit and geist. Both those things are fun.
An episode that's loaded with guest stars. I'm just going to jump ahead to that question. So, as we mentioned before, playing themselves, we had Marjane Satrapi, Alison Bechdel, Roz Chest, Dan Harmon, and Martin Short playing Guthrie Furnell, Kevin Michael Richardson as the voice of the Bechdel test fail, and Rachel Bloom as the therapist. She's apparently
familiar,
she's apparently the lead in Crazy Ex-Girlfriend.
Ah, okay. I've seen an episode of that. It's not bad.
Yeah.
Oh wait, is that a show? I thought that was a movie. Oh wait, that's super ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, crazy ex-girlfriend.
But no, I looked her up, and she's a jack of all trades, really. Like, she does musical, comedy, theater, acting. Like, bit of a powerhouse, sort of a talent.
An omni-threat.
A triple threat,
A quintuple, maybe. What did you guys think of her performance in this episode as the therapist?
Yeah, I mean, there's some good therapist jokes. I like how the guy behind the glass keeps kind of appearing and disappearing.
Yeah.
I like how Lisa goes, I've heard this stream about lockers, and there's lockers at school. Is this about school? She's like, I'm the pretend therapist here, and opens up like a big book of like what dreams mean. Yeah. And every single one that's either death, sex, death, sex, death, sex, and as it gets down to lockers, school. She's like, oh.
Yeah. There was a quick blink and you'll miss it one there as well that had it was megasex means death, but it was spelt without the A, like the band Megadeth. That took a long time to explain, so it probably wasn't actually that
funny. It was
funny.
Absolutely a blink and you'll miss it, though.
Yeah.
Listen, A. Yeah, I think she did pretty well. I think I found that the last scene got a bit needy.
Yeah.
With her kind of like screaming about how she hates being a parent and all that stuff.
It does have a really good point where once you've given birth to something, you can't control what it becomes. And I do like that as, there's been plenty of things where a book's interpretation has gone in a different direction, or people think very different things about a movie than what they intended. But I think it's fair to say that, once it's out there, you don't really get to control it anymore. And so if people take the wrong thing away from it, that's what they're going to take away from it.
Totally. And bring it back around to Dan Harmon just fucking what happened with the Szechuan sauce last week is just...
Yeah, that's insane.
That is exactly what that is in a nutshell.
I'm just like, but this must be where you just go, I've just made up a joke that was a one-thing joke. And then McDonald's took it seriously, and that was insane. And then weird fanboys just went hardcore nuts on it.
Yep.
Like, they're going to be some fucking embarrassed middle-aged people when they get those videos back. They'll be like, remember that time you jumped on this counter at Macca's, thought it was cool, and then screamed out, I'm Pickle Rick?
Yeah.
Like, fuck me.
It's going to be like, son, it's time to give you your inheritance. What is it, Dad? Well, in this box is something very special, a packet of Szechuan sauce.
Yeah.
Why? Let me tell you about a show.
Yeah. And read a story. Apparently some dude traded in his VW Golf for a packet of this sauce, and it's like,
who is that? That's got to be the dumbest guy in the world.
I tried to make sure this story wasn't fake, and it looked pretty fucking real.
That's insane.
Yeah, it is. And
someone really needs to quote the show to that guy and just go, look, I'm not saying the Szechuan sauce is going to increase in value or even maintain its current value, but it's important to you, and that's what matters.
Exactly. But that just absolutely ties into that whole thing that, once it's out in the world, you can't control what it does and everything like that. And it was good from that angle, but I think my problem with the therapist was in that last scene when she was just doing like crazy, devolving, new mothers be crazy sort of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, before that, it was fine. I didn't have an issue with it. That last one was just unnecessarily...
Well, it felt like the joke we were going to get as well. Like, when we first meet her and she's pregnant and she's all happy about it, enthusiastic about being a mother, like, we're going to come back later and you're going to be angry that you have a kid, aren't we?
Yep.
Yeah.
And it was just, and then we did exactly that, and it was just kind of...
And the hysterical bouncing between the happiness and the crying, it was just like, it was uncomfortable. Although I did like the line where, because they have the real therapist watching over in the two-way glass and all that, and how she goes, I think you keep forgetting that you did this to me.
He just reaches up and turns the light off.
I do enjoy a good slow, like, blind close or light turn off.
Or that slink away, shut the door. So, new question, Phil.
Oh, shit.
What would you change about this episode?
Everything in the theatre.
Yep.
Or actually, I would just change it so that I would make it that Lisa got more uppity about her fame and her side of things and took advantage of Marge's art rather than Marge becoming jealous of Lisa's fame, because Marge is usually happy that anyone in her family can do anything and is happy for them. So it's a little bit off character for her to be, well, no one's looking at my art. Why am I getting appreciated?
Yeah, and that totally comes into what we were saying before about the plot spelling itself out to you as well, whether it didn't feel like it happened organically. Yeah, Beach, what would you change about this episode?
Yeah, I'm just thinking now, what I think I would want to do is change it so that Lisa kind of gets so self-absorbed she starts to ignore Marge and effectively starts treating Marge the way the world treats her.
Sure.
So it's just like, ignoring her and, ignoring the special talent she has, while, what originally started this was the world ignores Lisa and how special she is.
Yeah.
So
ooh, that's good. I like that.
Could have brought it around. And she has that moment of realization going, oh my God, I'm really sorry I've done this to you when all you tried to do was help me.
Yeah.
And I made you feel insignificant. That's how I feel, and I'm sorry. And then we have a hug, and the music goes, na 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 na.
Yeah, because it was really Marge learned something in this episode, not Lisa.
Yeah.
Which is kind of backwards.
Yeah. That's the thing, because once we hit the theater, everything flips from everything we've been building up to this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah, Lisa's the victim again, and Marge is kind of the aggressor, but not really.
Yeah.
And you could sell that moment by Marge, writing her own sad girl and like showing this is what sad mum looks like.
Yeah, wow, there we go.
That was awesome.
At the end,
Yeah. Oh, everybody's here and now I'm happy.
Yeah, she literally just, her cartoon was picking up her daughter from school.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's happy.
And it ends with Marge going, oh, well, I like it. Maggie just gives shifty eyes.
Yeah. And the way they were dancing, it was so like Charlie Brown as well.
Yeah,
just
absolutely.
it was
As
really
someone
good.
who hadn't seen a comic since 1965.
Yeah.
It was literally...
So musical moments in this episode, there weren't any songs or anything, but I will say, look, I'm not sure. I tried doing research, but I couldn't get a definitive answer. So some of you might know that the Simpsons' like in-house conductor, musician, writer, composer Alf Clausen got fired. And I don't actually know if he worked on this episode. I'm pretty sure he didn't. From everything I can find, they're now doing their music at like pretty much a music factory that just sort of, music by board members sort of stuff. But you know what? During the stage play, I thought the music was fucking killer.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, I really like music there. Maybe he did work on it. This was like, because I can imagine the pre-production for something is going to be, several months. And he was only fired like a month or two ago.
Yeah.
So it's entirely possible he did. But yeah, I thought it was very theatrical, the music, but it also was actually just really good.
Yeah, it really fitted the space that was in.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was really proggy as well. Like, long-time fans will know I love me some prog.
Yeah, and that band we invented at the beginning of the episode, whatever it was called.
New Unborn?
New Unborn.
New Unborn. Our new prog band. Okay, so BT, any other notes about this episode?
If we want to take a quick visit to Jordan's Anal Corner, without Jordan.
Yeah, the corner.
Yes. There's a bit where Lisa is erasing her drawing and she erases half of it with the eraser, but then swipes her hand and it erases the rest.
Oh, yep.
And girls who already have the Sad Girl comic walk into the comic book store to buy the Sad Girl comic. It's just really
that
weird.
was weird.
Yeah.
I didn't think about
They
that.
literally walk in holding copies. You hear the bell, so you know they're coming in from the outside. And you can see the stand where Sad Girl is. They didn't take them from the stand, so you know they've come in with their copies to buy copies.
And then they also say, I really love Sad Girl. Like they've already read it.
Yeah. So you're, again, being beaten over the... Yeah, and we know they only have one issue because they literally say, they want us to do a sequel. That's like a prequel, but in the future.
I really liked that line. Because, we are totally at the point now where we're so oversaturated with prequels that the idea of a sequel might need explaining.
Yeah, exactly. It's like telling someone what a reboot is. Like, what?
So again, that was kind of, beating you over the head with the point. It's like, people like this. That's why they're going to make more, because they like it. It should have just been someone walking in going, hey, do you have any more copies of this? Because I read the first one. It was great.
Or Lisa's there and she's like, oh my God, you look like this. And that is me. It was maybe one of those
there was a better way to do it. It was just oddly done.
Yeah, kind of like, it was like a little bit of a time machine somewhere because they only just started selling the comic books.
Yeah, it's been, Lisa literally says, it's been a week since I lost my comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, that was some bullshit exposition.
Yeah.
Who's walking down the street with their mother and says, it's been a week since I lost my art therapy comic book.
What could have happened in that week?
Going, why are you still looking for it? Like, I lost a piece of paper that I had a week ago. Damn it, that still really bummed me out. You didn't even draw it.
Yeah, it was, like I said, just very blunt and beat you over the head with what's going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. Phil, did you have any other notes about this episode?
No, I didn't even realize I was angry about that comic book bit until just then. There's a couple other good jokes. It was a reasonably funny ep, but yeah, I think we've covered most of it.
I do really like the joke where Lenny comes out and goes, I had a student fix my crown. See, I don't think it's supposed to come out like that. That's why I had a student sue him. I lost.
Just walks away happy, hands in pockets.
Throws his tooth away and just walks.
Well, that was an adventure for old Lenny.
Yeah, and it does actually have, this one has a pretty interesting opening where we don't have a couch gag. We start with a really ominous music, and for a second you're like, is this going to be a Halloween episode?
Yeah, I thought it was actually. My first note was Halloween episode, and then just Lisa having a nightmare about lockers.
Cut straight into the locker nightmare. Yeah, so I actually thought it was pretty good. We definitely hit the ground running with that, and it got my attention immediately, from something I've seen thousands and thousands of times.
No, totally. And I thought the animation of it was quite beautiful. It really brought me back to when Bart's getting bullied by Nelson, and he has that nightmare sequence.
Yeah, and the school's all distorted, and he runs up the stairs, and they twist and shrink. And,
it was pretty cool. It was very, like a film noir kind of nightmare version. But I think it was a pretty good episode up until...
up until its third act, I think, is what really let it get down.
It just ran out of steam, I think.
Damn it, Tim. You were so close.
And speaking of running out of steam, I've just got some few final notes before we pull this train into the station and load it up with more water.
Steam.
I don't know how trains work.
Or steam.
Do you put water in a steam combustible engine? I don't know.
Yeah, water and heat.
Water and heat.
Coal.
There we go, and that's been the train index. Homer had a couple of lines after Lisa comes in and says, I had a nightmare.
Oh, yeah.
What's with dreams? They keep playing the same old thing over and over. That's why they're losing viewers to Netflix.
I do actually like that.
It's so dumb and bizarre, but I love it.
As you say, he goes, why does your dream keep having the same stuff all the time? You should come up with something new. That's why they're losing viewers to Netflix. I did really like that.
It's so silly. But then his line about we spent all our grief counselling money on that.
On Homer getting over the fact that Halloween candy is gone.
Yeah, I've accepted that it was in my time. I didn't like that. I like during the first Sad Girl, like the cartoon bit where Lisa is going through the cafeteria. I thought there were some really interesting art choices with like the snouts in the hot dog buns and the rats in the burgers.
Yeah.
Then barely an exaggeration. Like I thought that was just a really good way of illustrating the pain that a vegetarian must feel.
When she gets rejected, but to sitting with Sherry and Terry, and it says rejected in stereo.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seemed very Daria-esque, that bit.
Yeah, it was.
It was, I think, a little bit undercut by the fact that it goes, creepy twins. I guess I'll have to sit with them. Oh, now they won't like...
Yeah, it started with you calling them creepy, and now you're sad you don't get to sit with them.
Also, I really thought at that point of the episode they were going to go to Lisa actually has no friends. And that was going to be where the episode kind of went to.
Yeah, it was going to be revealed through the comic.
Yeah, it was like, and Marge could go, oh, shit, you have no one at school that you can even have lunch with?
Yeah.
Like she sits on the floor next to the door.
Yeah, it's almost a shame they went such with a bombastic story choice, because it could have been like a really nice, simple, close to home story for them. I like Marge's line, I can't draw turtle feet, so if you want turtles, they're going to be wearing sneakers. That's so Marge to me. Like, she's such a great artist, but turtle feet.
Everyone has that one thing they just can't do.
She's got to announce it beforehand in case Lisa needs turtles in her drawings.
Warning, yeah.
I was kind of hoping the follow-up line would be, okay, so in this scene, there are a bunch of turtles.
Yeah. It's an interesting thing about Simpsons episodes being produced now that they can comment on current trends, and I like how comic book guys got an addiction to unboxing videos.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Now we have opened up the outer mail packaging of the...
Ooh, yes, we
do like he says to his wife, don't make me choose between you and unboxing videos. Yeah. It's like, that's the point where I'm like, that's his wife?
Yeah.
No, a small mental breakdown.
And there's a choice, anyway.
I looked at my no wife and went, what the fuck?
What am I doing wrong in fictional worlds?
I don't have a comic book store, obviously.
Yeah.
The hot Sharpie thing, I think, was a really, really cool way to show both Marge and Lisa having fun with Collaborate.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also to show the split, where she goes, I need a break. Good idea. Hot Sharpie just throws the texter at her.
And literally split it down the middle.
Yeah. No, I thought that was a really good way.
And it sounds like a super corporate fun exercise to do.
Yeah.
They're like, guys, it's time for Hot Sharpie. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Just got these texter stains out. The Bimon Sci-Fi Con had way too many visual jokes that I did not catch.
There's so many. It's amazing.
But I liked how the sign underneath said, no, it's once every 2 months, not twice a month.
I noted that down as well. And then all the pop references were just
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been able to write fast enough.
Yeah.
There was a good one of a guy dressed up as Groot, and he just had like this rabid raccoon on a leash, from Guardians of the Galaxy.
It was his dog in a costume, I thought.
Oh, it could have been, but yeah, whatever it was, dressed up as the raccoon, Rocky Raccoon, did not look happy to be doing it.
Not at all. But yeah, it's incredibly rapid fire at that point.
Yeah. I liked Homer's whole thing with the Sail magazine.
That was good. Hello, Coast Guard. Get ready to look for my body.
And then, later in the episode when it all fails, Coast Guard, cancel that.
I'm going to live.
And finally, I just want to mention that, they dedicated the episode to Tom Petty, which was a nice little tribute. It's actually an episode we covered together, where Tom Petty was
nice
on.
drama vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a sad day. You guys a fan of Tom Petty at all?
I don't know heaps, but what I know I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm about the same.
Yeah, I'm more sort of singles, surface level sort of fan, but, American Girl's like classic. And
Freefall.
Freefall. And Won't Back Down. And I thought it was so poignant for, what's his name? Jason Aldean, the guy who was performing when the Vegas shooter. He chose to do Tom Petty's Won't Back Down for Saturday Night Live following all that. Like, I thought that was like just an excellent idea.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. All right. So, rest in peace, Tom Petty. The man so awesome, you died like 5 times in one day.
No one was really sure for a while.
Damn you, Reddit news.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess it is time to rank this thing. All right, and for those that aren't aware, on the Simpsons Index, we have a 6-point scale for ranking things, and it starts down the bottom at failure. But maybe if the episode was just meh, you give it a participant, and then there's the good rankings. You got bronze, silver, gold, and for the best of the very best, the super excellent episodes, you give cubic zirconia.
I love that after all this time, you still don't know how to explain that.
I love that you got super excellent 3 times in there.
It's pretty super excellent.
It's pretty good.
It's my catchphrase. And I'm going to go first. Let me show you how it's done. I'm surprising myself, and I'm going to give this episode a silver. I think it's just because of how surprisingly good it is to me. Yeah, the bad points really do drag it down, and I probably should give it a bronze, but man, I enjoyed it enough, and I'm going to watch it again. Yeah, silver. What do you reckon, BT?
I'm at a brilver at the moment. I think I'm going to go to a bronze, though. If it had just been a little tighter on story, if it had landed that third act, we've said before, figure out the opening and the ending, because anything that lags is going to be in the middle and you're going to forget about it. Whereas this, I think we all agreed the third act was the weakest part.
Yeah, it was a lovely plane ride with a really bumpy landing.
Yeah, exactly. That's the part you're going to talk about when people are saying, how was the flight? Landing was awful.
Yeah, you're not going to go 14 hours of good and then 12 minutes of terrifying.
Had to taxi in the airport forever. What do you reckon, Phil?
I'm going hard bronze on this. I think it was funny, and I really enjoyed the first 2 parts of it, and then kind of just story died at the end of it.
Yeah,
the jokes kind of became a bit frenetic. Kind of off point.
Oh, sure. No, valid points, and makes me feel better about going silver on this one.
Yeah, I could maybe, if I was feeling generous, go to a brilver, but it's the first one of the day, and I'm not feeling generous.
Yeah, those aren't rankings either.
Well, just looking at our best to worst section of the SimpsonsIndex.com, this will be a shiny bronze on average, and this will join other episodes like Simpson Tide, 30 Minutes Over Tokyo when they go to Japan, Beyond Blunderdome, the Mel Gibson one. What else? Spelling as Fast as I Can, the one with the Ripwitch. Homer of Seville, the opera one, which I'm still surprised got that high. And The Book Job, the one with Neil Gaiman.
That seems like good company.
Yeah, they're very apt company, appropriate, I think. Is that what apt is short for?
Yes.
I don't know.
It's not short for anything. It's just apt. It's like, Elliot, what's that short for?
Really confused me for a second. I'm like, I don't know. Wait, hang on.
Eliotopopoulos. I'm actually Greek.
Damn it, I knew it. The clues were many.
Yeah.
Keep breaking all our plates.
Well, that's racist.
Is it?
Countryist?
Countries.
All right, so now we are going to the teens era, and we're going to watch an episode called Diatribes of a Mad Housewife.
Oh, God, this sounds awesome.
Yeah.
We'll be back. And we are back, and we just watched Season 15, Episode 10, Diatribe of a Mad Housewife. This was written by Robin J. Stein, and it was first released in January 2004 In this episode, Marge writes a trashy romance novel, and Homer gets a job as a salesman briefly before becoming a paramedic driver. And trouble ensues when Homer says he read the book that Marge written and he didn't, and etc., etc. Guys, what'd you think?
Yeah, pretty good. I had some good chuckles.
Yeah, I, from the title alone, was expecting complete rubbish, and it was actually pretty good app. Yeah, I was impressed.
What's a diatribe again?
Diatribe's just talking.
Okay.
Random talking about nothing. Much like we are.
Yeah.
We are a diatribe.
Welcome to the Diatribe of Simpsons.
Could it be a diatribe? A tribe of diatribes.
Let's check the Mac dictionary. What is it? It's the official Oxford.
Dictionaries on the Simpsons Index.
Diatribe, noun. A forceful and bitter verbal attack against someone or something. E.g., a diatribe against consumerism.
Well, will we be
Yeah.
diatribing this episode? Find out now.
And we are
later.
back. All right, so first of all, BT, what joke stood out to you from this episode?
Okay.
For better or worse?
I do super like when Homer is briefly a car salesman and then he leaves the two alone to talk about it, and he's like, did that guy cut one during the test drive? Yeah, and he turned the radio on to cover it. I love that joke, and I love the follow-up when he's then talking to his boss and everything goes quiet for a second, and then Homer just makes a face and turns on the radio.
Yeah, I think it was very important that they said cut one rather than said the word fart. I think, playing it a little bit more subtly was the way to go there.
Yeah, I really, really love that joke.
Yeah, and the setup and payoff was like one setup and two payoffs almost immediately. It was a really good joke.
Yeah. Sorry, we've said this before, usually they tend to fuck up jokes when they go for the second bite.
Yeah.
But I think that's one that absolutely landed really, really
Yeah,
well.
because it was literally just a visual gag. It was just him turning the radio on, so you got to see what you just heard.
Yeah.
They didn't say it twice.
And it wasn't undercut by the word fart or actually having a fart sound effect or anything like that. It was perfect. and to me, a joke that stood out was the eye twitching as well. Like, it goes on just for an unusual long time when Homer's doing the eye twitching as he's lying to Marge.
Yeah.
And then when they bring it back with Bart again later, that's just, really clever.
And I like how his eye twitch, and Lisa immediately knows it is a lie.
Yeah.
He's like, fine, I'll tell you about it.
I know what that means.
This is the Simpson family trait when...
Of shifty eyiness.
I do love this at the beginning of the episode where Homer's at a Krusty Burger-esque place at a drive-through, and the first thing I noticed was he's wearing a watch, and I'm like, he's wearing a watch.
Ah, there we go.
And I thought there was going to be a time gag, but it turns out that he orders so much food that's on his lap that he has to recline his seat all the way back to eat all the food that he's ordered.
And then
some of the burrito
splashes
sauce,
burrito,
goes onto the windshield. He can't see, and he goes, "Oh, I have to use the reflection of my watch to drive," and just holds his hand out the window to drive by the reflection.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming. It was made me chuckle.
Yeah. Although they have a weird thing where he goes, "Oh, why don't I just pull over?" But then later says, "Oh, there's a Krusty toy underneath the brake." It's like, well, you didn't have to yell, "Why do I just not pull over?"
Yeah.
You've already, if you then explain why he doesn't just stop.
Yeah.
That was
weird.
bizarre, though, when he did end up crashing into the nuclear power plant. Oh, I hit the grief counselor. And then he hits the inspector. So did Homer just kill two people?
Yeah, probably. Well, probably more, because
Well-
I imagine Mr. Burns' office is not on the ground floor.
I was going to say, it's weird. He just drives into Mr. Burns' office. It's definitely not on the ground. You can see out the window at the back. He's at like 4 stories up.
Yeah. Cartoon.
So, his
world.
car somehow took the service lift up as well. So, story moments that stood out to you guys. To me, the whole Homer having 2 jobs in one episode, essentially 3, I guess, because of the nuclear power plant.
Yeah.
But I thought that actually rolled out in a very funny, satisfying way.
Yeah, I was surprised I wasn't more annoyed by that, because you think, oh, okay, he's going to have 2 Homer jobs. But I mean, the fact that he just references it so casually as well.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
just
Marge, I quit my job as a used car salesman, and now I'm a paramedic.
It's like, don't
What?
you work at the nuclear plant? Keep up.
Yeah, I think that's literally what that was, all within the first act. It's just like, keep up. And like, oh, yeah. But I think they went into it and out, especially the car yard thing. He was just in and out of that so quickly.
Yeah.
There was no big setup. It was just like, oh, maybe I'll steal this side. Like, we'll show you what to do with crooks like you.
Yeah.
Becomes a car salesman. You don't even actually see him try and sell a car.
No.
He explains the one-way mirror. Then they go straight to the fart joke. So it's pretty fast.
No, he just buys the ambulance on site, and then boom, he's onto his next job.
Yeah.
And Phil, what story moment stood out to you for better or worse?
I do like him buying an ambulance. I thought that was kind of a really good, fast way of getting into something that's going to be a little bit wacky, but a decent B story to get away from sitting down and watching Marge write on a computer that's in every room of the house.
It was a good way to set up how they could just quickly cut back to Homer every now and then.
Yeah.
And I think that because the B story doesn't really join, but Homer does come into the A story at the end. So it was like keeping him occupied, but it was a really good way to just get some jokes in. Just go, who's he taking in the ambulance now? What can we get out of that?
Yeah, because when you're in TV and your story is about somebody writing something, writing is really visually boring to do because you're sitting in front of a computer typing. And so unless they're talking to themselves, which Marge does a lot, that's all the gag's there. So you've got to throw to something else that's the opposite. And I think that really worked.
Yeah, it's actually, I didn't even think to mention it as the B story because it was actually pretty well weaving into the episode, and it was like, it wasn't its own little isolated thing. It was very much a part of the story and the show.
Yeah, and I think it even started the episode as, like, I thought that was going to be the A story. Like, Homer buys an ambulance and becomes a paramedic somehow. Like, that sounds like an A story, and then the Marge story could have been the B.
Yeah.
They flipped that quite nicely. Like, distracted you enough, got into that B story. Homer had 2 jobs and then had an ambulance all before the ad break. Yeah, it was like, I forgot that was actually part of the same episode.
Yeah. No,
I do like how we get to Marge writing a novel as well. She just thinks it's a good idea and does it. Doesn't need any long, big explanation. Just goes to the library and totally say, do you have any special training to be a novelist? Like, oh, anyone could do it. It's like, I'm anyone.
Yeah. Like, do they tell you when they're going to publish their book?
Yeah.
Like, well, they should.
Novel, they tell me when it comes out. They should. Then I'll do it.
Yeah. Like,
okay. Her other line in that, long-time reader, first-time stander-upper.
Yeah. And I do like, I didn't catch them all because, but the woman who she's gone to see who wrote, I think it was like Sleeping with a Scoundrel or something like that was the name of the novel. But all her other novels have scoundrel in the title.
Oh, really?
It's like Return to Scoundrel, again with the scoundrel.
Yeah.
Things like that. It was good. Again, they didn't beat you over the head with it. It was just there if you could be bothered reading it.
Oh, totally. And BT, what other story points stood out to you about this episode?
I really like Marge's story in this one. Story point specifically. I don't know, it all just really evolves really well. It goes from she's written something, it's just good enough to get published. When the novelist she sends it to is like, this is the best first novel my assistant's ever summarized for me.
Yeah. I guess that actually goes to something I liked about this episode was everyone's reactions. And like, I love Lisa's thing where like her brain and she's got like a little Herman's head thing going on. Yeah. Her jealousy is like, I can't believe Mum wrote a novel before us.
Yeah, and it's a little trashy. But then her much bigger conscience is like, no, we've got to be supportive. She's expressed herself, and that's good.
And the chained up libido. Let's get boys.
Yeah, that was, I found that a little bit of a offshoot. It was like, you're not coming out to a 16. Like, okay.
No, but I like that idea that, once Lisa hits 16, she's just going to have this, big flush of libido. Just fuck up her life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All that repression.
Yeah. It's all leading to that moment. So, play count. How many times have you seen this episode before today, BT?
I'm going to say like 4.
4-ish?
Yes.
I'm going to go with my usual answer. Never.
The first timer for you.
It was. I thought when it was 4-3 and it was the old intro, I went, I've definitely seen this.
Yeah.
Turns out, no.
Yeah, what season was this?
15.
15, all right.
So, this is one that I caught a fair bit because this is like right when I'm watching Foxtel and before I'm going to uni, so not doing much with my life at all besides watching Foxtel.
Yeah, well, I mean, just from the DVD menu where it has all the characters, and I'm like, oh, yeah, I know this season. This has actually got some good ones in it.
Yeah, 15 is where a lot of failures start happening. Or actually, our earliest failure is in 13, but there's definitely some low points in 15, but it's still got some good moments, and it's definitely not anywhere near the garbage fires that happened during the Simpsons movie seasons.
Oh, yeah. Right. Freaking teenage years. What was the first failure? I'm curious.
It's not a unanimous failure, but it was the blunder years, what we did for Teenage Wasteland last week.
Right.
That got, participants from me and Jordan, but you failed it.
Yeah, go me.
You are responsible for our earliest failure.
Yes.
And then you forget about it.
Yep. Can't even remember which one that was.
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's the one, with Smithers' dad.
Yeah,
that one sucks.
So terrible.
It seems like you've reached a consensus with yourself.
Yeah.
I agree with me a lot. It's like when I listen back to these, like, that guy just gets me.
I'd love to meet him one day. So I think I've seen it about 10 or 15 times, maybe. I don't know. Did this feel like an episode of The Simpsons?
Yeah.
It was pretty close.
Yeah. It's we get a lot of Homer and Marge trouble in episodes. But this one, it felt a little more organic and a little not as played out. Like, it wasn't a big fight that caused them to have... There was a story. It was that Marge is kind of woven in some of her negative feelings, and they're not actually arguing or breaking up in this episode.
No.
It's just she feels neglected sometimes. This is her outlet for that.
Yeah, she's working out her repressed feelings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see this definitely being a real-life example of something that happens where a partner writes a book or writes a thing.
Yeah.
She puts herself into it because that's generally how you do it. And then the other person's like, wait a minute, is this drunken boob me?
Yeah.
And like, well, parts of it are you.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
But I like that it wasn't, by writing this book, I realized I actually have a lot of issues with you and I want to argue about them now. No, that was just, she was actually very nervous about him realizing it was based off of themselves. So,
yeah, and I think it worked with him being given to read it so that he has a chance to object to it and have his opinion. But of course he doesn't because it's Homer and he hasn't read, to quote Homer, read anything since To Kill a Mockingbird lied to him about any useful tips about killing mockingbirds. And so, you can kind of see that she did the right thing by going, is this okay before I publish it? And he's like so neglectful. He's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. And he gets to enjoy that blissful period between the lie and being the life being found out.
I also really like his line at the end. It goes, the end of your book was the wake-up call after falling asleep at the beginning of your book.
No, sort of mixed on, I'm pretty mixed on jerk-ass Homer in this episode because he is a jerk, needlessly at a couple of times, but it all feeds into the story so well that...
Yeah, that's what I like about it.
I think it's justified. And, it's not like he's doing anything super terrible. He just sort of plonks on the couch and just sort of, what's for dinner?
Yeah, it was a bit, even the way it was animated was a bit grotesque to be the worst version of that.
His gut immediately
pops out and he takes up
the great line of, I need some dinner and the kids need some CPR lessons.
We're not paramedics, obviously.
Little bit of a jerk, but
it's nothing he hasn't done before, jerk-ass wise. Yeah, he quits 2 jobs and buys a new car without telling Marge. He does that all the time. I do like the follow-up of, I also fed some ducklings. I know, I got your text.
I didn't even hear the got your text bit. I was laughing at the ducklings.
Yeah, no, that's so cute because I didn't tell you everything about my day.
Just the ducklings. I thought you'd like it.
Yeah, but in terms of feeling like an episode of The Simpsons, I thought all the characters were on point and Ned was an interesting addition to this because, that's where you think it's going. Yeah, Marge is fancying Ned, but no, it's not that at all.
No, she's more fancying the idea in his considerateness. So
I do feel like we've touched on that before with other episodes where there's kind of, she gets sick of Homer and Ned's so straight-laced and normal that she's not, attracted to him, but just attracted to that kind of a normal person and not her abusive, neglected husband.
Who's clean and neat and
has had
in great shape for over 60.
Yeah,
especially with the guy with the mustache.
But there was that one episode that we all reviewed where they almost kissed, and
that was weird.
Yeah, The Devil Wears Nada, I want to say it was, and
was it?
But that was playing with Marge's whole fancying of Ned, but that was more of a sexual thing, whereas this one was the idea, and it was just feeding to her story. And then I really like the turn with Homer, even though I think he played his aggression way too much.
Yeah, for someone who's trying to ask for help.
Yeah. But the fact that it turns around and Ned's looking up and Homer's on the ground begging too now. And I thought that was a really good turn for the story to take.
Yeah, something different. Otherwise, you've literally backed Ned into a cliff.
Yeah.
So it ends with something that happening or Homer killing Ned.
Yeah. I do you have to pull over and I'm an ambulance. No, he's got me there.
Just pulls over.
How it becomes a foot chase. Yeah, but I like that Homer didn't need to learn the lesson. He kind of knew it as soon as he realized, this was about me, and it's because I'm a neglectful and kind of a dick. So he didn't have to go through a moment of figuring that out. He just kind of realized it, and
Yeah, or being angry at Marge or Ned, he was sort of angry at Marge, but then went straight to Ned, I thought was actually the interesting way for it to take. I guess he didn't really get any comeuppance for lying to Marge, unfortunately, but...
No, but...
Yeah.
Oh, well. How about the wackiness of this episode?
A little bit. It did have a wacky inflatable tube man, so that's kind of wacky.
It just flew away to the stars.
Yes, and then Homer just stands on the box and
my planet needs me. Yeah.
No, I don't think it was too wacky.
No, I think anything really wacky occurred in Marge's book.
Yeah.
So, but that's fiction within fiction, so that's fine. It's I do really dislike when Homer's like, I've brought you the crop of Virginia tobacco, and she's like, has turned my teeth a healthy brown. Zoom in on her brown teeth.
Yeah,
that
was gross.
It was just weird because you could see her teeth before that.
Yeah,
and
they
you're
were
like,
fine.
you didn't need to zoom in. You could have just had them turn immediately brown. But even then, it's a dumb joke. There are a couple jokes like that in this one.
Yeah, it is sort of wacky as well when Homer does get the book on tape and he's reading it out. He's literally spelling it out to the audience. Ooh, Marge's book is a book on tape and it's read by the Olsen twins. See, can you read? And there's a little picture. Okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
It was like they definitely wanted you to know they had the Olsen twins.
So, other wacky moments. Yeah, it's mostly to do with describing Marge's book or, Lisa's little Herman's head moment. But,
but nothing, within the story proper was, I think, whack.
Apart from Homer crashing his car through the nuclear
power.
power.
Oh, yeah.
That was
somehow getting it
wacky.
into Mr. Burns' office,
And some of the ambulance stuff, but that was just mostly implied wackiness, or they didn't quite go there, like Bart with, Lisa, I'm going to defibrillate you, not if I shoot you with morphine first.
Yeah. There's another joke I didn't like when Homer's like, I like this is keeping me awake and asleep. But then he does it. Yeah, he could have just said it. I don't know why we had to then do the visual as well.
Because you have to see a cartoon character get zapped, and so their skin turns into wavy lines.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The cartoon rule of twos: explain something and then show it, just in case.
Well, just like the book on tape, where it's like, here it is, and I'm going to read it out, and then you're going to hear it anyway.
Yeah. So other than that, not too many wacky moments, but the heart of this episode.
Yeah, it's there, and I think it actually works pretty well because it is so heavily integrated into the story.
Yeah.
That, you can absolutely understand Homer not reading it before it gets published, and Marge being nervous about him reading it, and it all, and then comes together nicely in the end.
The only part where it doesn't come together nicely is that extra scene where Homer's like, let's work on a little collaboration of our own.
Yeah,
and
who
then
really shot JFK.
That was really weird.
It was a really bad final note. For an episode I actually quite liked, that final bit.
I think it feels like it was trying to play a misdirect off his before, like, let's go and do a little collaboration. And you're like, sexy times. And then it's like they're doing a Who Shot JFK.
Yeah.
But that seems like the last thing that Homer would ever want to be interested in. Why isn't it the history of donuts or the history of men eating donuts?
No,
or something?
Absolutely. And then it doesn't even get saved with that Jack Ruby joke either.
No, it's terrible because it's just overperformed on that. He wanted to steal the Jack Ruby.
Yeah.
That's a person.
And also, you've got to kind of know a bit more about the JFK assassination to know who Jack Ruby is to even get that joke. So anyone who's probably 25, when did this come out?
2004.
Oh, shit. Anyone who's 14 doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about anyhow.
No. And it does actually come to an interesting thing about this episode is I think it just had some really weak act breaks as well. Like the first one ended with Marge going, brownie break, and that was the joke.
Yeah.
And then the second one ended with a cut to Homer that sort of, they were talking about him, so it didn't feel out of place, but he just, turns to someone in the back and goes, so how much bleach did you drink? And
which was really the weakest ambulance joke. The rest of them were pretty good. Like, so where are you going tonight? The hospital. It seems to be popular tonight.
Everyone's going
I feel like he goes into the Quickie Mart and he got a crazy straw. There's a guy with a broken back and I'm trying to make him laugh.
Yeah. No, see, it was these moments with Homer that really gave the episode the levity it needed. And it was a shame with that Bleach one as well because they had the really good joke about it before where, what if Homer reads the book? He won't. What if they make a movie about it? He won't watch it. What if they parody it on Mad TV? Oh, crap.
The ambulance was a bit hit and miss. I think, I'm glad that we didn't didn't overdo it. Like, I think just being, like, you never see him get to the hospital and you never see him pick anyone up. It's all just, taxi cab confession type style.
Yeah.
But it was, the Bleach one was pretty, especially because the other guy was literally not responding.
Not moving at all,
It could have been a dude, I'm sure that could have been funnier.
Yeah. So would you watch this episode again?
Yes.
Yeah, I think I would.
Yeah, me too. What playlist are we putting it in?
Homer jobs, but that's easy.
Yeah, Homer double jobs.
Novels, I guess.
Yeah, Marge writes a thing.
Yeah, actually pair this up with the episode we just watched.
Yeah, maybe the book job as well.
Yeah, totally. Book episodes, definitely.
Alternate period piece stories.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that really weird one with their own fantasy.
Oh, that's the Surfsons, That was a bizarre episode.
Because they're not in context of anything. They're literally just in medieval times for no reason. They're not telling a story.
The whole episode.
Yeah, the whole episode. They're just, and it's not a bad episode. It's just a really weird that we're just doing that.
But yeah, I'd also pair this one with the last episode we watched because it had Dr. Marvin Monroe reference.
Yeah.
He just comes back as a character in this one.
Which again was weird. It wasn't really a joke. He was like, "Oh, must Dr. Marvin Monroe, I haven't seen you for years. I was very sick."
Yeah.
It seemed
and that was it. And
it was
like
the perfect joke because we'd just seen it the episode before.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was odd. Would have been very odd by itself.
Yeah, it was just so out of place. It's like, was this a voice actor who's come back? But I don't know. I don't know why it existed. It was strange.
Yeah, well, I think, they are playing with the whole ambiguity of what happened with him. And, like in the 138th episode Spectacular, when they do, which two popular Simpsons characters died in the past year? And it was him and Bleeding Gums Murphy, but...
You're wrong. They were never popular.
That's right. This would go well in a few playlists. But, Phil, what would you change about this episode?
I think I've found the first couple of bits where we flashed into Marge's alternate reality of where she was writing the book to be pretty heavy-handed and shit.
Yeah.
Like, it got better as she kind of figured out the story, but to hear Marge writing and actually see what's happening and hear Marge saying the words was pretty awkward. Like, I was fully expecting to that just be a dumpster fire. But apart from that, it was pretty strong. I think I liked pretty much all of it.
No, you hit on a good point with the heavy-handedness. Like, the joke of her going, "Oh, that sailboat painting that's in our house has always brought me inspiration. Maybe I could do something about whaling." A novel has never done that, and that's where you go, okay, cut the joke, and then she goes, "Thank you," and looks at the bottom of the picture, scene from Moby Dick, and it's, come on.
Yeah.
It was a bit weird. That's it, yeah. So that whole first section, really, I thought I was ready for that to suck hard, because it just a really weird, awkward lean into it.
Yeah, awkward, and just... spelling it out and delivering that. But what about you, BT? What would you change about this episode?
Well, unlike the last one, I'd only really, changed little parts. So I definitely changed that final scene, the stupid JFK bit. And things like the couple of jokes that just didn't land. The whole thing with the sailboat, which... haven't we had like 3 different origin stories for that painting? Oh,
definitely. And there's also a safe that's full of them in the Simpsons house, and Marge painted it at one point, and yeah,
it's weird. But other than that, story-wise, I think it's really good, and a lot of the jokes I laughed quite. There's actually a lot more jokes in it as well compared to the last one. So not many, just a few bits and pieces. What have I got here? I still don't know if I like the line, "This is how you talk when you learn English from porno movies." It's like, I can't tell if I like that or not.
I didn't mind. I thought it was all right. It was very much like what's that? The dude from that 70s show, like Ches? What's his name?
Oh, Fez, foreign exchange student.
Yeah, it was that kind of... It was a line that would have worked better with him, I think. Because, we know...
we know he can talk.
Yeah. He's a really smart guy as well. I do actually really like the little phone montage with the gossip spreading. That's a very classic, 2 people and then pan out and then pan out. And I really like that. It's a classic visual bit.
Subdividing the screen over and over again. Everybody's in their bathrobes and got face masks. But I didn't like how it then cut to Mo. The joke about the fact that he was ordering a pizza, hurry up and order, but then he goes, "Can you make the pepperoni spell out happy birthday? I'm Mo, I'm alone, that's my character."
It was enough to have him gossiping with the pizza guy to get that point across.
Yeah.
So little things like that. I think I changed the very beginning and the very end, because I like Homer having the food and driving, but just... when he gets to Mr. Burns' office, it's really clunky and really awkward and not a lot of jokes there. Although I do like he runs over the safety inspector and he goes, "Promise me you'll report this."
Yeah.
The other thing I didn't get at all was when they're getting other authors' comments for Marge's book, and they did a whole bit on Thomas Pynchon.
Yes, Thomas Pynchon playing himself in this episode.
Who the fuck is that?
Yeah,
I was asking you guys. You guys are the guys that read books. I can't read.
I'm like, I don't know who this is. And they spent a lot of time on a guy who was literally a brown paper bag with a question mark over his head, standing in front of a house with a neon sign saying Thomas Pynchon's house.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Oh, it's a reclusive author who wants a photo."
It only lands because he yells out, "Who wants a photo with a reclusive author?" Other than that, I don't get it at all.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I guess he's reclusive, and this is funny because he's got a big neon sign out in front of his house.
But also simultaneously a paper bag, so no one can tell who he is. But he's like,
it was.
I loved it, even though I do not know who he is.
I do like the bit with Tom Clancy. It's like,
yeah, that was great.
"This is Tom Clancy. If you want me to say that Marge Simpson's book is a clear and present danger to your spare time, well, I'm not going to." What do you mean I just did?
Yeah. Well, I was actually reading something interesting that they do that all the time when they're putting up quotes for like movie posters from reviews and stuff.
Oh, they actually take it out of context.
Yeah. Like sometimes you'll see, frenetic, fast-paced action, and then the rest of the sentence really drags this movie down.
There's a great poster, I can't remember what movie it's for, and it's like the reviews from all the newspapers and stuff, and they're all like 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, and then there's one in the middle, and like the characters are standing over it, so it looks like it's 5 stars, but you can only see 2 of them, but it's actually a 2-star review, and they just put it in the middle so it looks like the characters are blocking out the other 2 stars. You're like, yeah, well played.
And the other guest stars for this episode, the aforementioned Olsen twins, they did fine.
Yeah,
they did fine for reading a book.
I think if the setup wasn't so long getting to that bit, how they constantly throw back and forth to each other,
it
was kind of funny, but getting there took so long, it really lost impact by the time we got there.
Yeah. And it was just the Simpsons going, look who we got for this episode.
Although I do like, it's like, her heart was heavy with feeling, oh, that's sad. I didn't know people in the past got sad.
Musical moments for this episode. I love Homer's little parody of Cars as he's washing out
Hosing
the ambulance.
my car, they're getting out all the blood. Some of it's mine, but most of it's not. Here's Marge.
Which is, absolutely, saved by the Here's Marge. Or not that it needed saving, it was just really good.
He does that every now and then, just randomly throws to a song. It's good.
My favorite is still shaving my shoulders, getting it all shaved off. And other than that, no other musical moments. Phil, any other notes about this episode before we rank this thing?
One good joke where they're inside the novel, and she's like, I'll prove it to anyone on this island. And she's like, Nantucket's an island? And it cuts to Marge at the kitchen table with a dictionary or an atlas going, it is.
Yeah, I do like that.
I thought that was pretty good because I didn't know Nantucket, nor do I care. But it's like, I like that she's learning from her own book. And then the other note I had was there was a really fucking weird moment where she decides to print her book in the kitchen where the computer now is with a printer connected to it.
Yep.
And she prints it, and as it's doing the old school, she pretty much orgasms while standing there watching it.
It was odd. It's like, I get that she's meant to be really excited, but it was like, ooh, that's good printing.
Yeah, it was
like, huh?
And it made me out loud go, ew.
Yeah. No, it felt a little gross, which is a shame because, I loved so much of like Marge's process material, I just did a paragraph. And what was the line about the Milky Way?
It's like, this book's getting darker than that new Milky Way. That's a good metaphor. I'll work that in somehow.
And she had like a bunch of those moments, which was, okay, I've done the thank yous. Now it's time to work on the book.
Yeah. I like how she's gone, I just did my first paragraph. Time for spell check. Perfect.
Let's see if lightning strikes twice.
No, I really enjoyed, watching Marge, getting excited about this process, and then, really excited to share it with Homer, who just couldn't give a shit, which, really helped propel the story along. I thought it was really good.
Yep.
All right, my final notes for this episode, and there aren't that many. The Homer's ordering Krusty Burger at the start, the twisty lards, and the I'll get the bag deep fried. And
the sign has a hot lettuce injection.
No, that was filled with a bunch of good gags. I might actually even put that screenshot up on the Facebook page.
Nice.
I like when Homer gets thrown out of the nuclear plant, and it's a classic, I had a hat, but it's I had a car. 2 people just casually throwing it next to him. It's perfect.
Yeah.
And there was some good joke about the bookstore, which might actually be an outdated concept where they go to the bookstore and Lisa's like, I'm going to go to the books. They're on the 4th floor.
Yeah, because everything else is coffee. And
and Marge is like, bookstore, I could use a muffin.
I think that's a good play on kind of all that Borders and whatever else there was.
Yeah, but I don't know if those sort of stores exist anymore. Again, I don't read.
No, I don't think so. Well, certainly not here, but we only really got 1 or 2 of those anyhow.
Yeah.
Much more American thing.
No,
a little sad Borders is gone. That was.
I loved them, but they can't compete with whatever they're competing with.
But I mean, half the problem with Borders is like when I went, I was just grabbing a coffee and I'd have something quickly to read, and I wouldn't actually buy it because they facilitated that.
Yeah, and they encouraged it as well.
Yeah.
But also, they charge a lot for their coffee, and that's where they make their money.
That's how they get you.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they weren't that good at it because they're gone now.
Also true.
Yeah,
because they tried to do CDs and DVDs as well.
Yeah.
Was it pre-JB though?
Pre-JB as we know it to now. Yeah.
So there's still that one in Parramatta, but
because
I think JB was out.
Yeah, but they were more hi-fi and like stereos and stuff. They weren't like flogging DVDs or CDs as much.
It is weird to think that used to just be like one store in Parramatta.
Yeah. Oh, insane. And
it was for a really, really long time as well.
And now it's becoming like the main place you go for like homewares and stuff now.
They sell fridges.
Yeah,
that's really
weird. Freaks me out. Yeah,
that's odd.
Because they were burning so much of their floor space on CDs and DVDs that people weren't buying that. They've opened up into homewares. Yeah,
that makes sense.
But now they've also got like a whole shelf for vinyl. Like this is really confusing.
Yeah, no, it is amazing that vinyl is like the big seller.
I saw the vinyl that has Rogue One for the soundtrack of Rogue One, and when you play it, it has a holographic TIE fighter in the middle of it
it's cool.
that spins around. I was like, I don't have a record player, but I was fucking close to buying that. It's like $110, but I'm like, wow, I want this.
No, vinyl, they are pricey, but yeah, I really want to get a record player though. But
I've got one.
Oh, have you?
Yeah.
I want to get one as well, but then I just know that's another thing I'm going to start collecting.
Exactly.
And it's going to be another thing that eats into all my space.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah, I've already got my entire cupboard taken up by fucking amiibos right now. And they won't stop releasing them.
Like a thing for the Nintendo, little figures, and then you put them on the gamepad and it'll activate something in the game.
I thought you had a wild collection of amoebas for a second. No. I was like, that can't take up that much space, surely.
No.
Would you like to see my collection of amoeba? You'll need a microscope.
Other jokes I like, Homer, like fantasy Homer going, I just came back from Portsmouth, now I want to get in your mouth. Your myth.
Yeah, that was gross.
Yeah. But it illustrated him as a buffoon and an oaf.
Yeah, absolutely. And it sort of feels like his character, as well as like Marge later going, oh, should I put this in? Well, snuggling sells. Like,
I say that's much more Marge though, because she's so prudish. And I feel like in the book where it was more reflective of Homer as that weird character, to be making out with the figurehead on the ship, the half-nude mermaid lady made of wood.
Yeah, I know we're co-workers, but...
than it is to make a word pun on Portsmouth, because it's M-O-U-T-H.
Yeah, it almost feels too clever.
Mouth, and it's too clever and too clunky for drunken, I caught a seagull for dinner, Homer.
The whales weren't biting, okay?
I do like all the town are talking about, this is a book about Marge and Homer, and Otto sticks his head in and goes... Temperance's name changes to Marge for 3 paragraphs on page 10.
I do like that.
No, that was awesome.
When someone's Mary suing so hard, they forget.
And I like when Marge is trying to get Homer to read the book. Look, it's double-spaced. Woohoo, I'm halfway done. Reminds me of when they're doing the jigsaw puzzle. Oh, these 2 pieces are stuck together. We're halfway there. I like when Marge is writing the sequel. It's like, part 2, The Thunder from Down Under. Temperance was looking at the shrimp on the Barbie.
I do also like the end of the book. It was like when Terrence watched the 2 men she'd loved and the 1 whale she admired go into the ocean.
Yeah.
I love to see Homer getting dragged towards the camera and then just bloop.
It was really good and looked visually good and really visually interesting when Homer is chasing Flanders and the sky goes all grey. It felt like the scenes were now washed with a new palette that was sort of...
the ominous palette.
Yeah, and tying into that last scene of the book that they played out as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was really good. Also, when Homer was reaching in to grab Ned at his front door and like random third arm appears, what do you think of that joke?
I do actually like the joke,
Yeah, I kind of liked it because it gave a visual representation to his anger of getting inside Flanders' house. There's just 3 arms. And you're like, okay, it's a bit of a gag. And then I do like the payoff with Nelson just stealing doormats.
Yeah.
But do doormats belong on the inside of the house?
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Jordan's in a corner.
Doormats belong outside.
Mm-hmm.
Guess it is time to rank this thing.
It is that time.
BT, kick it off.
I'm a little conflicted on this one because my guts are saying silver, but my brains are saying it wasn't that good. I think I just had a really good time with this one. So, do I shift it down to bronze? I liked it more than the last one. And I definitely got more laughs out of it. I'm going to sit on a silver. I might change that.
All right.
Yeah, it does have a lot of flaws. Like I said, the very last scene I really don't like. Crashing into Burns' office, it was clunky. There was some really clunky stuff, but there was some great jokes. And just for that radio fart bit alone, that was just gold.
No, something I've definitely referenced in my life a bunch of times.
So I'm going to say silver. I'm going to sit with there for the moment and just feel it out.
Cool. What about you, Phil?
I think I'm going to sit silver as well. It wasn't amazing, but it was pretty good.
That's what's kind of getting me. For one that we have had a lot of complaints about, I'm surprised that's when my guts are sitting on this one. But yeah, follow the guts. They say silver.
Yeah, I didn't, and it wasn't. Certainly, I didn't hate it. so it's not participant failure. And I didn't think it was an amazing episode, so it's not gold QZ, QZ, whatever you call it.
Yep.
Yeah, I think silver.
Yep, I'm totally in agreement. This is one of those episodes to me which is amusing where, the parts that I didn't like don't drag it down too much. I'm more like, oh, that was a shame. That could have been, you know, that could have used another draft.
Yeah, but they're just quick and done, and so by the time you're angry about it, it's over.
Yeah, to me, this fits perfectly in the middle of the road about that, and it is a good episode. I'm happy to give it silver.
Unanimous silver.
Unanimous silver. It is joining such other unanimous silvers as C.E. Dole, Millhouse Doesn't Live Here Anymore, another one from season 15, The Seemingly Never-Ending Story, the play within a play within a play within a play one, Little Girl in the Big Ten, I think that was where Lisa's pretending to be a college girl.
Oh, yeah, that was a good episode.
The Call of the Simpsons, where season 1, where the Simpsons get an RV. Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe the RV one gets a little better, but maybe because it's so old and so...
I think that's what we said at the time, is that there's a lot of iconic moments in it, but it is really slow.
Yeah, and it takes a very weird step when they think Homer's Bigfoot.
Yeah, but that's like when the story gets like really fast-paced and energetic and awesome, but it's also halfway through the third act, so it really races to the end. Yeah. Right. But, season 1, you sort of forgive it for that stuff. All right, and now we are going back to that classic era, and we are going to be reviewing season 4's Krusty Gets Cancelled.
Ooh.
Yeah, this one will be another one that goes into a lot of guest stars listing.
Oh, yeah, shit, this one's got heaps.
Definitely your theme for this week, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Guest stars and writing books?
Will Marvin Monroe show up again?
We'll see. Maybe we'll see his corpse in the background or something.
Delightful.
Imagine that, like, they had this secret thing, spot Marvin Monroe's corpse in the background. It's like how South Park, like, sneak an alien in the background of most episodes.
Yeah. There's just it's not a gag they play once every 8 seasons.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back.
Bye.
And we are back, and we just watched Season 4, Episode 22, the season finale, Krusty Gets Cancelled. This was written by John Swartzwelder and first released in May of 1993. In this episode, after a new TV sensation, Garbo, takes all of Krusty's viewership away, Krusty's show gets cancelled, and he assembles a star-studded bunch of people to do a comeback special, and it's assumed everything works out for him, I guess.
It is.
Yeah. Guys, what did you think?
He's good.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
I gotta say, it was actually a lot weaker in the beginning. When we were sitting around like, wow, this is actually kind of not great, the very first part, but then it picks up dramatically. So
yeah, I kind of found that a lot of the jokes in there were good, and there's lots of laughing points, but the story kind of, and maybe because we've seen it so many times and it's so old, the story was a bit lackluster for me.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was just non-stop note-taking throughout that entire episode, and I think it is another thing where you look at the story, not much actually happens, it's just because they are doing so much service to all these guest stars.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's got to say, giving everyone service was actually the funniest part. Like,
yeah, definitely.
They got such good material out of the guest stars, which was fantastic.
Oh, absolutely. May as well just jump ahead to the guest star question. So, yeah, first up, Johnny Carson. Like, I don't have much of an affinity with him. Of course, we didn't really get the late night thing over here.
But yeah, you get just from context that he's just so iconic and amazing. They love him so much they make him juggle a car.
Yeah. Play accordion with Grandpa and Jasper balancing on his head. Like, no, I thought he did well. And when he was like, "You sure you won't join us for dinner? My guests will be Dr. Carl Sagan and someone from the San Diego Zoo." And, like, from what little I know about Carson, that was very much his thing.
Oh, yeah. And then he does the golf swing. And
yeah. Yeah, you're just missing that guy, whatever his name is, going, "Hi-oh." Hugh Hefner, I thought that was a great appearance as well. Rest in peace. Another one who died recently.
Yeah. I think he did all right, actually. Like, the voicing sounded good, and his character was not what you'd kind of really expect.
Yeah, but yeah, playing with that whole thing. You know, people talk about the grotto and the lounge, but no one ever talks about the biosphere and
the alternative energy research center. All of the bunnies are in lab coats.
Yeah.
Is that a desalination plant? Well, the grotto uses so much water.
Yeah.
The bunnies thought it'd be a good idea.
Those some smart bunnies, Hef. Can I call you Hef? No.
And yeah, Bart with his classic pipe with bubbles and stuff. Like,
yeah.
No, and just coming around to that, I thought that was one point that stood out to me about the story. It felt organic the way they introduced Bart and Lisa into helping Krusty here.
Yeah, they see him standing on the street corner offering to drop his pants for money. Get him home and then just get the idea from looking at all the photos. So yeah, surprisingly, putting two children with a fallen megastar actually totally made sense in this instance.
And then they go around and they recruit all the celebrities, but then come back to find Krusty destroyed.
Yeah.
I thought I'd lose weight, so I drank a bunch of milkshakes.
It was diet milkshakes?
Oh, no.
That's my weird note on this episode, is that time is just all over the place. So Gabbo comes on TV, and then like 2 scenes later, Krusty's cancelled. It's like, how long has this been going on? Like,
yeah.
And with Krusty as well, he gets fat and thin again in what seems like, a handful of scenes. Like, what's our time frame?
Yeah, it feels like
matter, but
he gets obese in about 12 seconds.
Yeah, in the amount of time it took Bart and Lisa to talk to like 4 people,
Yeah.
he got morbidly obese, and then in the time of just a montage, he got rid of it again. It's like,
Yeah.
all right. I mean, it doesn't matter. It's just something I kind of noticed through this watching.
I guess that part of the story didn't need to happen, I guess.
Obviously, it was time filler, but
Yeah.
it was still kind of funny.
But yeah, amazing in an episode that already feels so jam-packed. It was its own little story branch that happened for a while. As well, Bette Midler, I thought her scene...
All her stuff with it. Amazing.
Picking
on
up the
highway.
trash, yeah. Oh no, Bette Midler.
That was excellent.
I'll get you, Midler!
Time to take out the trash.
Destroying people on the highway.
Yep. And her singing with Krusty, I always love when they get like an excellent singer and then one of these characters, you make me fly higher than an eagle.
Really illustrates the difference between a good singer and someone who's a voice actor.
Who sounds like Krusty.
Absolutely. And, musicians, mostly sports stars, but some musicians like have a hard time with the acting part, but I think Bette Midler's just got all that theatre experience.
She's an actor as well, yeah.
Yeah, that's true. And
From being in Rochelle.
About a woman's erotic journey from Milan to Minsk.
That's the one.
Rochelle. Yeah. Oh man, she was good in that Seinfeld episode as well when like Kramer was taking care of her.
She's not bad, yeah. I do love that. Oh no, Bette Midler. I kind of forgot that in the recesses of my Simpsons references, but good lord, that's funny.
No, it's so good. And I thought it was interesting the way they animated her as well, where her teeth didn't have any lines.
Yeah, I didn't notice.
Yeah.
She's like a horse.
Yeah, pretty much. Like the horse that licks Krusty. No, run! Don't look at me!
Don't come over here.
Oh, it's very adorable. Just that doe-eyed horse.
Oh, you look sad.
Who else do we have? We have Luke Perry. Oh, what are you making, Sideshow Luke Perry?
A 19th century English carousel.
Yeah. No, that was great. I like how they made him his half-brother for some reason.
Yeah. It was
because there's no other way you can link to him. Like, he's worked with Elizabeth Taylor and Bette Midler, but he couldn't have worked with Luke Perry.
No, that's true, because at the time this was released, this would have been like right in the height of 90210.
Plum 90210 season,
Yeah. Yeah, what is Luke Perry up to these days, I wonder?
I think he's in Riverdale. On the Netflix show.
Oh, really?
Someone told me
I watched the first episode of that. It's ridiculous. I kind of love it.
I haven't watched any of it, but somebody told me that
a gritty reboot of Archie. Come on.
So weird. But there's no Jughead, though.
Oh, no, he's in it.
Is it?
Pretty sure.
Is he wearing
I don't think they call him Jughead.
A paper crown? They're not calling him Jughead. Is he wearing a
He's wearing like a hipster version of the hat. It's it's the weirdest thing to gritty reboot.
It is like just a trashy sort of soap drama, kind of like the OC or something, though, isn't it?
Again, I only watched the first episode, but yeah, there's like a murder mystery element.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
They're merging Riverdale and Scooby-Doo?
Apparently, it was meant to be like Twin Peaksian or something like that.
Weird.
Weird.
It's the weirdest idea. We got to remake this, okay? What do? Let's get just dark.
Yeah.
Serious.
Like, what's left that's not owned by anybody that needs to be remade?
And Mrs. Grundy's young, then Archie's having like an affair with her.
Oh, that's gross.
It's really funny.
Well, I look forward to the Little Lulu gritty remake. That'll probably be coming out.
Lulu, get in here! You fucked up all of downtown. The mayor's gonna have my ass.
It'd probably happen. Like, there was a really good joke on the latest South Park where they're at the Netflix office and they answer the phone by going, "Hello, this is Netflix. Your show is greenlit. How may I help you?"
That does explain some of them.
Yeah. Luke Perry. Yeah, I loved the gag with the cannon as well. How what did it shoot him through? It went through a sandpaper factory.
Museum of Sandpaper, and then Apu just stacking up jars of acid at half price.
And then lands in a pillow factory that then gets instantly demoed.
I just him loving me like, my face, my valuable face.
Yeah, the choice of words there, valuable. Like, and God, we're still going through the guest stars. Liz Taylor, I thought this was a very funny call to her.
Yeah.
Again, animated weird. She had like a ring of blue around her pupils.
Because she's very famous for her eyes.
Oh, is that the thing?
Yeah,
and also, the callback to her I thought was weird. So they had the bit where she's in there polishing her Oscar and her, I assume, agent
or butler. Or
yeah.
Some children were here asking about you to appear in a Krusty remake comeback episode. I sent them away, and she's like, good.
Yeah.
And carries on. I thought that'd be great, but then it goes back to a way late in the piece.
Yeah, watching the episode.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, I got to fire that agent. I forgot all about you dissing that.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't need to come back for that.
Yeah, I think that scene sort of dragged on a little long, but it was done to really highlight the visualization of that ring and her eyes reflecting in it. I guess that's tying into her famous eyes there.
I suppose so.
While she's watching Hugh Hefner play bow glass, wine glasses filled with water.
Yeah. Apparently she actually has some kind of weird condition that really makes her eyes stand out or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like she was on the set of some movie and someone's like, nah, get that eye makeup up off her. It doesn't work. And she's like, I'm not wearing any.
Wow.
That's just what her eyes look like.
It seems to me like Liz Taylor's not the person to ever not be wearing makeup.
Apparently that's how the story goes.
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. And Red Hot Chili Peppers, and one of my favorite bands of all time, and probably the reason I am a bass player is Flea. Yeah, I get stoked every time I see this episode and see them.
I love when Flea just pops up in things.
Yeah. Oh, he's a cameo king.
Yeah.
What's it? Big Lebowski. He was in Baby Driver.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He's in Fear and Loathing.
That's right. He's the guy in the bathroom.
So sometimes he's a bigger character and sometimes he just pops up. It's great.
Yeah.
You keep doing you, Flea.
Yeah, he's amazing, and he's opened up this fantastic music school in California, which has really been helping a lot of people out, and they constantly doing charity. But yeah, I love Flea. But the interesting thing about this is they had booked this guest slot to appear on The Simpsons, and halfway through their current tour that they were on, the Blood Sugar Sex Magic tour, their guitarist John Frusciante quit. This would actually happen to be par for the course for that guitarist who, like, throughout the Chili Peppers, like, quit another 5 times or something. Mm-hmm. So the guy who's actually being the voice of the guitarist is just a random session guy called Eric Marshall.
Oh, right.
And, yeah, it was just a really interesting thing that, yeah, this guy in his credits of everything he's done includes a Simpsons episode just because he was the touring guitarist at the time.
The right time.
There for the right time. But
there you
go. Chad Smith and Anthony Kiedis, it's I think they all did a good job. And
I just really love their one little line where it's like, we need you to, the network wants you to change some of your lyrics. No way, man, our lyrics are our children. All right, but what if instead of what I got, you got to get and put it in you, you say what I want is what I'd like to hug and kiss you.
Yeah.
That's so much better. We have something everyone can enjoy now.
Enjoy that, yeah.
I love that back and forth. It's brilliant.
Yeah, and they were animated really well, and the whole underpants thing, and like, I can't believe they debased themselves. I need a bigger lolly. And then, yeah, how they call back to it at the end. Hey, you can't walk in here dressed like that.
Mo, stop being such a square. If it feels good, do it.
Yeah, don't snap my undies.
That's a great line.
There is one little Jordan's anal corner, though. Mm-hmm. They drew
Jordan's anal corner.
They drew Flea playing a guitar. Terrible.
No.
They didn't.
Who's on point there? No one.
No, I could see the top of the guitar had 6 little tuning pegs. It should be 4.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible.
Anal.
They thought we wouldn't notice.
And God, okay, so that was 4 in 1. And finally, the last guest star, Barry White, was in there a little bit at the start in the Hollywood Squares thing.
Well, that was very quick.
Mm.
Yeah. Come up to my square. It's safe and sexy. I can't do a Barry White.
I do like, the very start of this is, welcome to Springfield Beach, where sewerage meets the sand.
Yeah, that was a great
And
call.
the little crab.
Yeah, all game shows off the beach. There's a tsunami headed your way.
Yep. Well, okay, so that was like about 20 minutes of us talking about the guest stars. So for the first question, BT, better or worse, what jokes stood out for you?
A lot of them, actually. I said the first half of this was actually, I thought, kind of weak, and I was really surprised. But then there's so many. Okay, crazy old man. Oh, grey mare, she ain't what she used to be.
Singing that so much throughout my life.
Yep. Yeah, and oh no, Bette Midler. That was amazing. We already talked about the Alternative Research Energy Center.
Yeah, we might have already covered a bunch of these.
Yep. Hey Mo, look over there. What? What is that? What am I looking at?
Hey Mo, can I walk?
Yeah, it'll cost you.
While it's in the car.
What an idiot. And now back to the wall.
That was a good one. Phil, what jokes, for the better or worse, stood out to you for this episode?
I like the little cameo that Bumblebee Man had when when Krusty gets his ratings. He's like, "We lost to Channel Ocho. What the hell is that?" And then flicks on. It's just Bumblebee Man. He says something in Spanish, and then
Dos
just
huevos, por favor.
Yeah, gets an egg in each eye, and he's like, "I'm stealing that bit." Well, that's all right. There's a lot of really good jokes, and I didn't write them all down because I was too busy enjoying them.
As you should, as we recommend.
Yeah. I did love the Luke Perry fired through many different things that would hurt your face.
Yeah.
It was excellent.
Museum of Sandpaper.
Just for lack of a better joke to mention at the time, I did like in Krusty's whole weight loss montage, there were a few good jokes there where Marge's hair's fucking almost destroying the cat at every turn. And then Homer and Krusty practicing boxing together. Gabbo's on TV. Krusty launches into
Pork
him.
prices increased dramatically.
Homer launches. And then, in the next bit where Krusty's just beating up a big cut of meat, Homer's just casually biting it.
Yeah, it's a nice little Rocky reference.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because Rocky trains by punching meat.
I still need to see that movie.
Brandon's in a freezer because he's a meat packery guy.
So, for better or worse, what story points stood out to you for this episode? Take it away, Phil.
I think the main story's weakish. In just that Krusty gets cancelled because another show becomes more popular than he is.
Yeah.
And then the kids collaborate to save him. So we've seen that, probably not this time in 93, but we've seen that 8-10 times as a story point in itself.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it wasn't bad, but it's just, I think because it's so early on and we now expect so much from a Simpsons episode, it feels like there could have been more.
Yeah, it's weird how it both feels overstuffed and a little bit empty at the same time.
Yeah, I think, like, in terms of gags and things that are happening, there's tons and tons, and so much more now than the modern episodes.
Yeah.
But I think story-wise, there's no B story, and it's just this story that plods along. Really, in the story is 3 sentences. Krusty gets fired, Bart and Lisa help him gain his notoriety and fame and job back. All's right with the world at the end.
Yeah. Everything resets to 0.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it was interesting to say that this is the season-ending episode, because I found the end of it was kind of a bit lackluster. Like, it kind of really tapered off quietly.
Yeah, it didn't. I was interested to notice that the show didn't actually have a climactic moment. It was just immediate cut to the rap party, and I thought that was actually a little unsatisfying.
Yeah, it was kind of, you didn't walk out. We didn't walk out anyway. But you didn't, like, for the end of a season, you didn't go, oh, fuck, that's so annoying. It's the end of the season. I have to wait until next year.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, I mean, the whole Krusty comeback special starts with Send in the Clowns, which is a slow, boring song about clowns, and ends with Wind Beneath My Wings, which is a slow, boring song about Bette Midler.
Yeah.
I'm like, so that whole thing was kind of not great, apart from the Luke Perry canon and juggling cars.
Yep. BT, what story points stood out for you?
Nothing really stood out. I think it all just because it moved at a fair enough pace, and there wasn't anything, no big like plot twists or reveals or anything that really changed the direction it was going. Gabbo arrives, Krusty gets cancelled, Krusty comes back. It's just very straightforward. So I don't know, I suppose it's because nothing really stood out. It's all just okay.
Yeah. Well, for me, the standout thing was the whole Gabbo storyline and how quickly it showed the fickle public abandoning Krusty for this new thing, which is a tired old concept as well. Yeah. And I like how Krusty tries to keep up as shows are wont to do.
Yeah, so you want ventriloquism, huh? Fine. Why is a raven like a writing desk?
What is the answer to that riddle?
It was meant to never have one, but apparently it's because they both produce few notes and are never backwards. So raven backwards is never, and so you don't put a writing desk backwards either. Apparently that's meant to be it. I like Shag's answer of neither one can swim.
Not bad.
It's pleasantly absurd. I did want to look up because there's a weird bit when they're just having Gabbo, Gabbo, Gabbo,
yeah,
without actually telling people what it is. and there's a billboard, and Mr. Burns drives past and goes, Smithers, look, Garbo is coming.
Yeah.
I had to look that up. So apparently it might be a reference to Greta Garbo, who was a Swedish-born American actress.
Oh, yeah.
And it does seem like the old-timey thing that Mr. Burns would know, but that meant nothing to any of us.
Yeah.
No.
I just thought it was Mr. Burns just mispronouncing something.
Yeah, but he says Garbo is coming, so it's like, okay, and he's like, Mr. Burns is fixing up his hair, and I don't know. It was odd. So I'm not even sure that's what it's a reference to. But
well, that sort of like might be what this episode sort of won't age well, because like I always try to think about what a new viewer would think watching these episodes, and this one like full of so many outdated celebrities and references. And I mean, not that like necessarily Chili Peppers or Bette Midler have gone away, but they're not like...
Yeah, they're not hot topics.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So how many times before today do you think you've seen this episode?
I've definitely seen this one probably about 10 in the course of my lifetimes.
Yep.
I'm going to say many.
Yeah, I'm going to put this in the 50 plus. I know there was a VHS tape with this, and I know this is one that a lot of quotes me and my family quote all the time, especially "Don't snap my undies." And because my brothers love the Chili Peppers as well, like the hug and kiss you line.
Yeah. Oh, and,
like we'd even sing that over when Give It Away was on.
And the squeaky voiced teen dropping the hot taco in the fryer. I'll get it out. How? How?
I don't want it. This comes out of my salary.
If I had a girlfriend, she'd kill me.
That's it. I think that's one of the best lines. If I had a girlfriend, she'd kill me.
Yeah. It was interesting. It didn't look like squeaky voiced teen, and they had another moment like that with Raphael, who was not in his model either, but was like, "Oh, you wouldn't like it. It's quite lowbrow." No, I'm quite lowbrow.
Yeah.
There's a dirty limerick on the bathroom wall. This I gotta see.
I love that. Yeah, that someone would rush to see a bathroom limerick. Yeah, where have the limericks gone from bathrooms these days?
Everyone's got phones, so they're all too busy Facebooking them to graffiti stuff.
People just draw penises now. It's a shame. Yeah.
Long lost art of the bathroom limerick.
It'll come back. I'm surprised the hipsters aren't doing it.
Yeah.
Were there any other quoteful or impactful moments like that have stuck with you through the years?
I think we've quoted them all so far.
Yeah, pretty much.
I do like there's a bit where Krusty's talking to Sideshow Mel in the taco place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's like, my new manager respects me. And the manager walks in and goes, is this clown bothering you? And I was like, I like that. Like any kind of use of the actual word clown while there's a clown there.
Yeah.
There is a bit, it's actually the opposite. It's something that I think was cut from the Channel 10 broadcast where they crank call Krusty and he's like, is this about that porno? Listen, that normally never happens to me.
Yeah. I don't know if it was like a fly over my head moment or if it was cut, but man.
I feel like that was cut. I swear I would have remembered that. But
yeah.
But, I mean, at the same time as well, it's like the fart joke before. It never actually says the words or anything, but the heavily implied.
Yeah, but sometimes Channel 10 will cut them just for time.
It does say the word
censoring.
porno, so...
Oh, yeah.
Plus, it was easy to cut because it's all just audio, so all you have to do is just go straight to the, we're a Japanese camera company, want to pay you $2 million.
Oh, yeah, and then Krusty's line, oh, I hope I didn't offend you. I'm not going to repeat it.
Yeah, that was definitely a mid-90s gag.
Yep. Can't get away with that now. So talk about the wackiness of this episode. Besides Carson
I was about
juggling
to say,
cars.
how strong is Carson? Holy shit.
So I always wondered throughout the... is this something that he does? Is this a magic?
He spins cars.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't
like
think
I've
so.
never seen Johnny Carson. Like he's even too old for me.
I think it's just meant to be he's the greatest entertainer on earth,
Yeah.
so he can just do anything.
I think he was just enormously famous because he had the biggest talk show probably on earth. Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
absolutely. And wacky moments. I guess the weight loss thing, which talked about. That was pretty wacky.
Sorry, I just read we had Worker and Parasite.
Oh my god,
Eastern Europe's favorite cat and mouse duo.
very wacky.
That was
It
amazing.
was like an avant-garde art. And you're like, what is this? Yeah.
Yeah,
the hell was that?
Took special note of what exactly happens in this thing. They talk, they walk around, they seemingly get in line at a factory, and then all of a sudden they're just in a orange and black background of squiggles.
Abstract space for no reason.
The Worker and Parasite show.
I love that they only had really 2 animations each. It was like
Yeah.
they flap their arms and one would jump up and down, and then just change position and do exactly the same animation.
Yeah. But it was also a really clever way in the story for them to show how Krusty is failing at the moment, that, his cartoon property, which a lot of his viewers might just be watching his show for, the Itchy and Scratchy, is moved over to the more popular thing. Like, I thought that was a really clever detail in the story.
There's also a little quick where Gabbo says, the kids in Springfield are SOBs. And then Brockman says it in the newspaper is like, Gabbo, still number one. Brockman fired.
Yeah. And, even though they sort of show that Gabbo's downfall, was everyone's interested in the Krusty special, and now all they can do is secure Ray J. Johnson.
Yeah. Oh, man. I like that as a callback from when, Krusty's talking about they had him on once.
It's also funny for precisely 3 seconds.
I have no idea who that is. And there's that bit, like in other episode, where Homer talks about it, and he's like, you can call me Ray. That's literally the only reference to Ray J. Johnson I even know.
Yep. Apparently that was his deal. He told people what you can call him.
Yeah. But just don't call me lazy. I do 3 shows a day.
Yeah, so pretty wacky with the celebrity things, with Bette Midler doing her action movie thing.
It was way too funny though.
Yeah.
Come on. Wackiness doesn't even remotely detract from the brilliance of that.
No, definitely not. But how about the heart of this episode? Did you guys feel the heart with the kids helping Krusty?
I do like that Bart was so loyal. Even when everyone's going over to Gabbo, he's still ripping on it and is like, no, Krusty's way, but he's the greatest entertainer ever. Except for maybe that guy.
Yeah. I actually think it's interesting that it wasn't a point of contention with the kids, where Milhouse and Nelson, they had an opportunity there to go, oh, you're watching Krusty?
Yeah, to go back to that. I suppose it adds another layer into an already busy ep.
But even Bart sort of accepting, oh my God, he's really going downhill.
Yep.
But I liked all the stuff with Lisa and Bart helping him out. But other than that, not very heartfelt at all. They were sort of really moving through the paces and just getting through, essentially 7 celebrity appearances.
Yeah. No, I think the idea behind it was a heartfelt help out a friend type of thing, but didn't really pay off at any other point. And I don't really know if Krusty even said thank you.
Yeah.
He did give them begrudgingly give them 50% of the t-shirts.
Unknowingly gave them 50% of the t-shirts.
That's the sweetest plum.
Yeah.
Oh, that was awesome. Actually, in the end, I forgot to mention before, Elizabeth Taylor is looking through the window at Moe's.
Yeah, you can see it.
No, it's she's obscured and everything. Just a subtle detail. It's really nice. All right. How would you watch this episode again?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Me too. Let's put it in a playlist. So super massive celebrity guest appearances.
Krusty episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Krusty specials. I think he's had a couple.
The Krusty comedy classic, KKK. That's not good.
Yeah. Musical moments as well. The reason I wanted to do this one today is because we're actually working towards doing the all singing, all dancing clip show episode of The Simpsons, and we've almost finished watching all the episodes it references.
Yeah, we want to watch all the shows it's referencing before we get to the clip show. So.
You can not invite me to that episode.
Yeah, well, I mean...
you'll get to see my vest again.
Yeah.
I have YouTube.
Well, yeah, you do actually bring up a good point where the ballads really did slow it down.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like singing in TV shows almost full stop. See my vest being the exception. And so the slow ones I just find, especially in a comedy show where they try, I just feel like you're being forced into the heartfelt moment, which is why I don't like those songs to start with.
No, definitely.
You can't manipulate me, Simpsons. I know you're trying to make me feel sad things.
But I won't.
Yeah, I refuse.
But at least they balanced it out with a little bit of a give it away now.
We think it significantly improved lyrics.
Yeah.
But it was actually the artist singing that rather than just one of the characters.
So you tie this in with bands in The Simpsons. When bands appeared, maybe you tie this with the REM episode. And
you can definitely put this in Bart and Lisa Save Krusty. That's got to be an 8 or 10 episode strong playlist.
Ventriloquism dummies. Appearances of Gabbo. He does come up again much later.
So, was he a dummy or was he a small boy painted up to look like a dummy?
I believe he does get up and move around a hell of a lot.
And there's a lot of dancing. And then when the other guy, no one's watching him, and he's calling the children of Springfield little SOBs, and the guy's like, don't say that. Someone will hear you. It's like, that's a weird conversation to have by yourself with your
ventriloquist, man.
Yeah, I'm about to say, as halfway through that sentence, I'm like, oh, maybe they are that weird.
Yep.
You would be, yeah.
Yeah, what is it? I play with dolls and talk to myself, and not the other way around.
Good.
Doesn't make it a lot better, though.
For a kid's show, yes, it does.
Yeah.
BT, what would you change about this episode?
I don't really want to tighten up that beginning. There's something just that drags about it a little bit. I'm not too sure what it is or how to
So the
directly
Hollywood
improve it.
squares into the Gabbo hype, which part dragged?
I'm not sure. Just the general vibe of just... Because I was really sitting there going, wow, this is very... Something's just a little off here for such a, an episode that I know is good. I was very like, ooh, this might not even crack a silver at this point. And
Ooh.
yeah, but I'm not sure exactly what. Maybe I just had gas. I don't know.
It could be a condition of now that it's 20...
Now that I know exactly where it's going.
Well, and also it's like 20 years later, everyone's like the way that they tell stories on TV or in all media is now accelerated so quickly because people are used to understanding how TV shows you a story.
Yeah,
and so now, like they used to, I saw this article once where they were saying there's a Dustin Hoffman movie that starts out where his wife left him, but he walks into the door, calls out for his wife, he's not there, walks over to the kitchen table, there's a letter on the table, it has his name on it. He's like, oh, this is weird, what's this? He opens it up, pulls it out, he reads it, the camera pans down the text, he reads it out loud, it says, John, I've left you for somebody else, I don't love you anymore. He kind of turns around, looks at the open window, falls to his knee and cries. Like that's a 10-minute scene of this guy at the beginning of the movie. And now literally you do a shot where the door opens and you see a car that says Dear John, and that's the entire scene. It tells you the same thing. So you need
visual storytelling is kind of accelerated.
Yeah, so you become more used to it. So it may suffer from that. I mean, I agree. The Gabbo stuff went on for way too long. The Who is Gabbo thing kind of did drag for me as well.
And yeah, his You're Gonna Like Me, Love Me song, that probably could have been tightened up a bit.
Get the songs out.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so what exactly about that? I'm not sure, but just to tighten it up. I don't know what exactly, but something about that's just a little off to me.
Yeah, what I personally would change about it, I guess I probably would have cut like 2 or 3 guest stars, but ultimately I think this is really what the episode was going for, was to have this many notable people in an episode. So it's kind of hard to criticize them for that, but and now we mentioned the whole Krusty weight loss thing, that didn't need to happen. And
that was definitely for time, yeah.
And yeah, it probably could have been cut and add some more stuff with the celebrities or something. Yeah,
obviously they couldn't get. Who knows? But
or even just more rehearsing for the show type of stuff, because there's a lot of gags in there. So
because the only rehearsal they had was with Luke Perry, and like we were saying, the show didn't actually have a climactic finish, and it probably would have been nice if Wind Beneath My Wings was like the last final number, you know. Rather than doing like network executive jokes, which I mean not landed, but it could have been servicing the story a lot better to have them go, and that's been our show, let's go to Moe's or something.
Yeah. It seems like it could have ended on a higher note rather than... Anyway, it was very kind of, and that's how we all learn to listen.
Yep.
Type stuff.
You said this venue could hold 50,000 people. Yeah, there were 50,000 people here yesterday. Sorry,
and Barney just like, we want Chili Willy.
How many times have you done that?
All the time, and then you go to the Chili Peppers concerts and that's all anyone shouts, and you can get a stadium full of people shouting that. Phil, what would you change about the episode?
I'd change the back end, I think. I would remove both of the songs.
Yep.
And I would put more juggling cars.
More cars.
And more Luke Perry cannons.
Yep.
They were the highlights for me.
Yeah, you can have songs, but as long as Johnny Carson's singing them while juggling a car. What was he singing? Yeah,
just whatever that opera's called.
That song. Right in, opera fans.
The one that's also in Dusk map on Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
There we go.
That's how I Google it.
So I think we've covered all the musical moments. There were a lot of them, so forgive us if we haven't. BT, any other notes?
Let me check my notes. Oh yeah, I do like the little quick live from Springfield, the entertainment capital of this state. Just avoiding telling you where it is again. It's a nice little thing.
Yep, definitely.
There is one more, just Kramer, she ain't what you... I just wanted to sing it again.
And now the...
Crazy old man singers.
Kramer, she ain't what she used to be. And just the shuffling of the feet sound effect as well.
Is that the first appearance of that character as
Multiple shufflings.
Old Jewish guy, I believe is his name. I think it might be, maybe he was...
in the retirement castle before that or something.
Yeah, might have had one-off appearances.
So just like, you making any money? Nah, that guy's giving it away for free.
I like that he's standing behind the guy giving it away for free, trying to make money off it.
Yeah.
Like, go across the other side of the road.
And another funny thing, like they didn't actually show the old man dances.
No.
They just have a static shot of Krusty just befuddled. Like,
yeah, the fact that they're all the same voice and all the same step. You know what's going on. Somehow they've just got multiple the same old Jewish guy.
Just put a bunch of mirrors behind him. And they're like,
yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Phil, did you have any other notes about this episode?
Only other 2 gags that I've not mentioned so far is when Krusty's out of work and he's doing a audition for Melrose Place. And he's like with a woman and she says, I just don't know what to do anymore. And Krusty's like, from now on, I'll do the thinking for both of us. And they lean in, they kiss, and then her nose pushes into his nose and he goes, hey.
Yeah, a little bit of a clown honk.
Next. And then there's another one, there's a spinning paper gag where after Quimby's said, I know that I use taxpayer money to pay off my loan sharks or something.
No, it's I use taxpayer money to have someone killed.
Yeah, one of my opponents killed. And then it has a little spinning newspaper and it's like, I think Gabbo's
Quimby re-elected in landslide.
Yeah, two more bodies. Two more bodies discovered in river.
So dark. It's so dark, but I love it. Like, it's one of those things where, because it was done in a clever way and it was pretty subtle, like it doesn't actually make you think that Quimby's a monster, even though he is.
Clearly is. But I think it's like that's definitely kind of they're being edgier because they, you do the first gag out loud and then it was only the bottom corner of the newspaper that span out. So you had to kind of really be paying attention and reading. And if you were 12 at the time, probably weren't.
Spinning newspaper gags. Another long lost relic. Now it's just spinning iPads.
It's very bad.
I wish that was true.
And it keeps switching from landscape to portrait.
You're like, the fucking Apple.
Damn it, just screen lock. There. All right, so my last few notes for this episode is Renya Wolfcastle's appearance at the start. What is it? My son's a nerd.
My new film, my son is a nerd. My son returns from an overseas college, and I'm horrified to learn that he is a nerd.
I'm
laughing already.
It's not a comedy.
We get a classic Homer's thought. We get a fantastic Homer's thinking using all of his brain power, and all it is a sleeping mule surrounded by flies. Yeah. They sort of do a fourth wall break, but I didn't actually like this joke much, where Bart goes, all Gabbo needs now is a hook, and Gabbo does his one-liner, I'm a bad little boy. Ay, caramba.
Yeah.
I had that written down. I was like, it's kind of early on, I suppose. They're kind of making fun of themselves, but...
Yeah, I think it would have been funnier when this episode came out, but because there's been so many of those, like, stare to camera, here's my catchphrase.
Yeah.
Krusty talking about all the other shows that he's beaten brings up the Special Olympics. Oh, yeah, I slaughtered the Special Olympics.
Someone had to remind him as well. Don't forget the Special Olympics.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just ruined them.
Just get nostalgic over destroying the Special Olympics. I love what they do with the slot cars because, as well, like when I was growing up, I had a friend that was really into them, but I didn't get the fucking appeal.
They're pretty boring after about the third minute.
What if you put your train on there?
And I always wanted to do that, but he'd never let me put alternate things in his slot cars.
Now let's throw crud on it.
Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing with the slot cars. If you pick the inside track, that was all you needed to do.
The curves are tighter though. You have to slow down more.
That's why my slot car kept sending off and
flying
through the window.
It's very hard to teach a young boy that not to go 100% as often as possible. Like, go. Zzz,
how many times we were even playing Mario Kart the other day, and you're like, the brake's this button. Like, there's a brake.
Yeah. Playing on our SNES Classic. Loving that thing.
So little.
Tiny. The Gabbo crank call, I thought this was weird just because in the context of The Simpsons, like Bart does a crank call and Krusty's never done a crank call, but I think I saved it by...
If this is anyone but Steve Allen, you're stealing my bit.
Yeah, by saving it, tying it to Steve Allen first. But it is just one of those things that just stops and make you think, wait, that's sort of more Bart's deal, but whatever.
Also, we've never seen Krusty do that yet.
Yeah, exactly. Had a good grandpa line. The fax machine is just a waffle iron with a phone attached to it.
It was odd.
And a subtle way that they showed how successful Gabbo was getting was, and we'll be back after this commercial for Gabbo Airlines.
Yes.
Another Bette Midler thing that I loved, it wasn't actually her, it was Krusty going, oh yeah, we owned a racehorse together.
Cruddler.
Cruddler. Beautiful. And my last note is I love how Hefner was failing the love test in Moe's Bar.
Yeah, a cold fish.
Yeah. That was an excellent little detail. All right, well, if that's all our notes, I think it's time to rank this thing.
Okay.
I agree.
Ranking this thing, let's do it right now. Phil.
I think I'm going to go silver.
Yeah?
I think not that it's bad, but I think it's just I've seen it so many times and it's so dated now that it's hard to get excited about the same thing again.
Sure.
Yeah, but it's good. It's jam-packed with jokes, obviously jam-packed with celebrities.
Mm-hmm.
Not badly done. Story's a bit light. Ending's a bit weak. Beginning's a bit low. Yeah, silver.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to give it a gold. Like, I sort of wanted this to be a QZ all the way through, but even like with an episode that's so jam-packed with cultural references, and it's not doing that thing where it's the criticism of The Simpsons where it's, you know, defining culture versus just participating in it like they do with the Lady Gaga episode. Mm-hmm. Like this one, I felt like everything still felt very Simpsons-y, and everything, it was just missing that X factor for me, like, that does push it into the cubic. So yeah, I'm going gold. BT?
I am on a Gilver, but I think I'm following the guts. They're saying gold. So even though I have complaints about the episode, I do feel the beginning is just off a little bit. But it gets so damn good. You have so many good quotable moments from this one. Yeah. So that's a gold.
Cool. Well, I think, Dole Gold. That actually sounds like a good spot for it. This will join other episodes like Homer versus Lisa and the Eighth Commandment, when they get the illegal cable TV.
Yeah.
No Disgrace Like Home. I think we all reviewed that one. The first appearance of Dr. Marvin Monroe and the electroshock thing. Homer to the Max, where he changes his name Max Power. That should be ranked higher.
That seems like it should be up there.
Simple Simpson, where Homer becomes Pie Man. That's another Dole Gold. And The Good and the Bad and the Drugly from season 20. I like that episode.
Okay, sitting pretty.
Yeah, in good company.
No, this was good. I mean, we didn't have any standout episodes, but we didn't have any fucking weighting
miserable
down
failures. Yeah,
nothing sucks. But sometimes I like the sucky ones because I can get angry about it.
Getting angry is fun. Listen to Teenage Wasteland Part 2.
Yeah. Oh, we are so tired and angry in that episode. But yeah, especially like the last few weeks, we've had like both the teens and the HD episode be a participant or less. So this was actually a nice change to do only good episodes today. Thank you for the algorithm for working it out. So, all right, I think it's time we go eat some food.
Delicious.
Phil, thank you for joining me tonight.
Pleasure as always. I love being in the new space. It's very egg cartony.
Yep. What it lacks in oxygen, it makes up for in sound quality. BT, thank you as always.
Food.
Yep. And I've been your host, Elliot J. O'Neill. That was episode 60 of The Simpsons Index, and that's all the mustard in the house. Thank you for checking out The Simpsons Index podcast. Don't forget to go to www.thesimpsonsindex.com for the spreadsheet and information about upcoming episodes.
And for today's extra content...
Come on, we have to wrap this up. Food's coming.
I know. Be delicious too.
Gonna be delivered.
Fire agent? Oh, fire agent.
Mm-hmm.
Not
like
like
to fire that agent.
Not like
hello, I'm an agent of fire.
Which would be pretty awesome if
It
you were.
would. I represent fire. Wait, what?
I'm here for the burning of things.
Oh, that'll be food.
You can hear everything. It's
Where did
amazing.
you even hear that? In a soundproof room.
Or is that? Oh, it's calling him. You know what? We're fools for that.
The fool's call.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems like we should have really figured out the phone part. So, BT.
Yeah.
How would you like to rate this quickly so we can eat food?
I would like to.
Would you rate it poop or not poop?
I would rate it not poop.
Oh, good. Interesting. And Elliot, would you rate this poop or not poop?
I would rate it not poop.
Thank you, Elliot Bouvier.
It's a flawless Elliot, you know it.
And we're back.
Hey, you got to say we're back.
Yeah, no worries.
Yay.
Also, we've left a surprise for you. Unless you press pause. In which case, no surprise.
He'll hear it in the edit.
That's what I mean.
Kind of surprised that you should be turning the radio up. I don't know.
Yes, we farted into the mics. Ironically, I farted into my own mic and now it sinks.
Yeah. Every time I fart, I record a podcast.
Gross. All right.
Podcast.
I don't know if